What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
8 Iya, Chapter 178176. The Artificial Devil Fruit Project in the Stillborn Belly. Advertisement. Dragging the wailing Jack. On the street, Jack's body kept blood constantly, staining the ground into a line of red. The Marines escorted the pirates one after another, and they escorted all the pirates to the prison of Marine Base in an orderly manner. Lucas dragged Jack all the way to a solitary prison with no one, closed the door, and looked at Jack wailing. Surprisingly, Jack this guy was chopped into a stick by him, and he still didn't die. The iron door of the separate prison creaked and rubbed. The iron door opened and Monet walked in. According to Lucas's orders, she gave Lucas a backpack of fruit. Close the door. Understood. Monet turned and walked over, shut the iron gate of the prison, and stood watching. Lucas opened the backpack, walked to Jack's side, and placed the fruits in front of Jack. What are you doing? Jack glared at Lucas, gritted his teeth and shouted. Shish. Lucas threw the empty backpack aside, and then took out the knife hanging from his waist. The blade reflected the cold light in Jack's eyes, and Jack looked at Lucas in horror. However, he has now been chopped into a stick, and there is no way to avoid it. The knife in Lucas's hand cut down, the tip of the knife pierced Jack's chest, ripped Jack's flesh and blood, penetrated his heart, and then penetrated his body. Lucas went down with a stab. Jack trembled, his head tilted, and he couldn't catch his eyes. Assault Marine Base, it's not too much to collect some interest from you. Lucas picked up a white cloth, wiped the blade, and then put the knife back into the scabbard. With a click, the knife and scabbard merged together. Lucas stepped aside and sat on the chair, tapping the chair with his fingers regularly, waiting quietly for the result. After a long time, Jack's body was cold, and the blood on the ground was solidified. It's just a pity that the fruits surrounding Jack haven't changed at all. It's a pity, tut-tut. Sunlight shone on Jack's body through the bars, and Lucas, who was sitting in the shadows, shook his head helplessly. Monet looked at this guy speechlessly. How do you feel that you are more like a villain? Monet looked at the time, then at Lucas. What's the matter? Lucas looked at Monet. Advertisement. It's been half an hour. It seems that this time has failed. Monet reminded Lucas, hurry up to collect the body, even if Jack stinks, there is no new devil fruit. Well, let someone burn Jack, and kill the other pirates by the way. Lucas waved his hand and said. Monet quickly put the fruit away, put it in the interrogation toolbox, and went out. Before long, several Marines walked in and dragged Jack's body out. Lucas looked behind the bars. He knew Wanokuni's secret passage, but that thing seemed to require the help of an insider to go up. Unfortunately, Jack didn't cooperate, so he had to kill the opponent. He just asked with the idea of trying it out. After all, he still has a whole card. Looking at the dry bloodline on the ground, Lucas squeezed his fist. But starting today, after he killed Jack, Kaido's Beasts Pirates is very likely to come to the G5 Marine branch to retaliate against him. But in the face of an Iron Man like Jack, he can only hit Jack cruelly. After all, Jack even dared to provoke the three of Sengoku, Fujitora, and Suru. What can he do? As long as he stays behind, Jack is likely to hit his subordinates and even the people in the town ruthlessly. There is no need to do everything between life and death. This is not a joke about the lives of the subordinates and the civilians. Whether Beasts Pirates will send Jin to avenge them or Quinn will retaliate against them, Lucas has to be more careful. After all defeating these two guys, the angry Kaido will definitely come to him for revenge. It is also very possible that Kaido will not send his subordinates to retaliate against Lucas. This guy is likely to come directly to him to fight. Lucas's current strength can indeed dodge Kaido's attack, and can also hit Kaido. But, he doesn't know if Kaido's defense can be broken. It seems that his training progress has to be accelerated again. After a while, Lucas walked out and saw the pirates kneeling on the ground in handcuffs in the small square of Marine Base. By the way, Guy Saw hasn't betrayed Marine yet. There was no punk hazard explosion, and Doflamingo was still detained in the underwater prison with the big pirates. Advertisement. Without a partner and a clever evil scientist, Kaido now has no artificial devil fruit at all. And among these pirates, there is no artificial demon fruit power. Lucas directly waved his hand to give the order to kill these pirates now. Understood. Ajin nodded and looked at the gunman who was aiming at the pirate with his gun. Jin put down his right hand. Shoot. Boom. 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 There was a clear gunfire, and the people around the Marine Base gate cheered when they saw that the pirates were hit by bullets in the back of their heads. Before Lucas came, this Marine Base didn't play a role in protecting them. A large number of pirates come to the island every day, and many people are often bullied and harassed by the pirates. In the past, those Marines didn't protect them much. Now that's good. With Lucas Rear Admiral, those pirates will be wiped out every day, and their lives are guaranteed. No pirates will bully them anymore. Even if there are outsiders coming to the island, they dare not. No more money for buying things. When people faced the pirates who were shot to death, instead of being afraid of the dead after the shooting, they were very excited. The pirates were hit by bullets one by one, losing their lives and falling down. Until the last pirate was left, the pirate trembling in fear, suddenly stood up and turned around, staring at Lucas tightly. Little, Rear Admiral, please spare me. I am just a pirate forced by them. I am willing to change my mind and be a new person. Please give me another chance. Don't kill me. Lucas did not respond, waved his hand, and walked away. Akin took the spear in Marine's hand directly, stepped forward, and kicked the pirate to the ground. Lucas is very clear about what Kaido has done. It can be said that many of Kaido's pirates have been enjoying the benefits of bullying. This guy is not innocent. Shut up. A Jin stepped on the pirate's chest and directly pressed the barrel of the gun against the D's head. Since you have chosen to become a pirate and enjoy the benefits of burning, killing and looting, none of them are innocent. After Jin finished speaking, he directly pulled the trigger, ignoring the guys begging for mercy. Chapter 179,177. Much cute and angry. Please subscribe. Ask for monthly pass. Advertisement. New World, Wano-kuni, the island of ghosts. The sky of the ghost island was covered with dark clouds, thunder and lightning, and the pirates drank and watched the bad weather outside. At the same time, a thunder light flashed in a cave, illuminating the cave through the hole above the head. A flash of thunder illuminates the fierce-looking guy sitting inside. Kaido is extremely tall and burly, with black hair and shawl, long horns, and a beard like a dragon's beard on his mouth. Kaido, with his upper body naked, grabbed the wine gourd and poured it directly into his mouth, revealing the dragon scale tattoo on his left arm. Facing Quinn, who rushed in, Kaido was not angry. Instead, he smiled and greeted Quinn. Kaido cherishes talents and doesn't care about the back talk of his subordinates. In Kaido's eyes, the strong deserve his respect. If his subordinates have that strength, he will be very welcome to the strong subordinates. No, it's not good. Quinn hurried to Kaido and stopped quickly. Quinn quickly handed a newspaper to Kaido, clenching his fist. Jack was killed by that D. Lucas. What? Jin, who was beside Kaido, looked at Quinn in surprise, and got a positive reply from the other party. Jack was killed as one of the 3 plagues of Beast's pirates. Kaido's face was gloomy, and he slapped the newspaper on the ground with a palm. His eyes were extremely dangerous now, as if he was about to fly to the G5 Marine branch next moment to catch that Lucas and kill him. Let me deal with him, Jin said suddenly, looking at Kaido. Quinn was about to say the same thing, only that Jin was ahead of him. You two go together, Kaido said. Dealing with a Lucas is not enough to let him go. However, it is not safe to go to just one Jin. He decided to let Jin and Quinn go to the G5 Marine branch together, and let them work together to deal with Lucas. Kill Lucas and avenge Jack. Yes, Jin and Quinn nodded, and walked out solemnly. They had only thought that the words Katakuri had said had a lot of water, and they didn't take Lucas very much. As a result, Jack's death told them that Lucas's strength was indeed very strong. Quinn summoned the pirates to prepare weapons, food and other supplies, while Jin stood on the ship, looking at the distant sky for a long time. Until their fleet set off, they didn't want to understand how Lucas managed to kill Jack. Advertisement. In the information they collected, Lucas's various abilities were outrageous. So at the beginning they looked at each other's strength with skepticism. Could it be, the opponent's strength is so pervert? They went to Wano-kuni's secret passage to the outside world and left Wano-kuni. There are 2 ways to enter Wano-kuni. One is hard drive, that is, a lot of people make huge fishes and ship ropes together, and drive them up through those fishes. Whether they are going out or coming back, they will not use this stupid method. As for Jin and the others, they only need to take the dedicated secret passage to get out of here smoothly and quickly. Ghost Island. Kaido grabbed the newspaper and tore the picture of Lucas in the newspaper directly. He must kill Lucas. ... Grand line, above the sky. Above the invisible sky, one floating sky island floats forward quickly. This is the floating sky island of the Golden Lion. Golden Lion was sitting on the edge of the floating sky island, his clothes grinning in the gale. Behind him, he heard the disturbing puff puff again. His assistant Indigo walked over, followed by a gorilla in a dome hat and pink shirt. Indigo was still the same, his body was constantly shaking, his feet kept coming and going and making a puffing sound. Even though Indigo waved his hand hard, Golden Lion did not respond to each other. The orangutan in pink scratched his head and stretched out his hand to pat the Golden Lion's shoulder. Golden Lion turned around and looked at the gorilla in surprise. Ah, why did you come here, Mom? Looking at the Golden Lion with a demented look, Indigo sighed. I am really worried about the future of their plan. Indigo spoke directly and furiously. How many orangutan ingredients are there in your bloodline? Just enough. Really, the last time you called the orangutan to call your grandma, this time you called your mother, will you change your father next time? Indigo felt like he was taking care of an old man with dementia. Sure enough, people like to say that the ship of the new era does not have the position of the remnant party of the old era. Their plans are full of unreliable plans. So you can talk. Advertisement. It's rare for you to wake up. 2 orangutans, although they are the characters of one of the largest pirate groups in the world of pirates, but sand sculptures are everywhere. What can I do? Golden Lion looked at the deputy Indigo and asked. Just as Indigo was about to make 2 gestures, he saw the frowning Golden Lion, and quickly and honestly reported. That young man named Lucas just killed Jack, one of the 3 plagues of Beast's pirates yesterday. This is the newspaper. Indigo handed the newspaper to the Golden Lion. Oh, Golden Lion looked at the contents of the newspaper unexpectedly, and looked at Jack, who was chopped off with an adult stick in the photo. This young man, it seems that part of the newspaper's bragging about him is true. How old is he this year? Golden Lion asked curiously. It's less than 20, Indigo said. Sometimes it is true that people are more popular than others. Many people at this age don't have the strength of the other party at all. At a young age, he easily killed Jack. This makes Indigo pay more attention to Lucas. Golden Lion is not happy, now they have just entered the new world. And then, Indigo told Golden Lion a news. According to our people returning from the sea, there is news that the angry Kaido has sent Jin and Quinn together to deal with Lucas. Lucas is likely to be killed early by these people. Indigo knew what the Golden Lion was thinking. After Golden Lion heard of Lucas's fruit ability, he remembered a familiar name. He wants to directly defeat Lucas, and then force the opponent to rebel against Marine and become a pirate. A rising star among Marine suddenly defected and left the Marine team, which, in his opinion, was even more pleasant than killing Lucas. Presumably such a gift, Marine will be very surprised. It's just that now that this kind of thing happens, Kaido's people will obviously cut their heads. It doesn't matter. If he can't even beat those two guys, it proves that he is not good and it is not worth my shot. Golden Lion shook his head and said. He doesn't care about Lucas's life or death. If he can catch him, he will give Marine a gift. It doesn't matter if he can't catch him. However, Golden Lion thought that Lucas had killed Kaido's men and couldn't help but laugh. Chapter 180,178. Flame Calamity. Jin. Plague Quinn. Advertisement. New World, G5 Marine Branch. Lucas never expected that his previous guess was correct. At this time, in his office, sitting two tall men wearing white cloaks, white suits and masks. They are CP0. Lucas's performance in recent days has made them very satisfied, no. To be precise, it should satisfy the world government and the five elders. They saw the second Sakazuki, the second tool man who was completely willing to work for them. It's just that Lucas really worked hard to kill the pirates, but if he provokes a guy like Kaido, it makes him in a very dangerous situation now. Leaving G5, Lucas looked at the two. Although there are no unnecessary mood swings on the surface, he is still very dissatisfied with it. He is a Marine and has been transferred to G5 to become the base commander. This time is different from before. In the past, South Blue was decentralized, and with the credit, he could understand it after being transferred back. Previously, his trip to West Blue with Kong Ming Vice Admiral was only a short-term cooperation, and he didn't plan to stay in West Blue for a long time. But this time is different. At first, the upper-level transfer ordered him to be the head of the G5 branch for a long time. He has come here to fight the pirates for so long, so that the people on the island of the G5 branch see hope of life. If you say transfer away, then transfer away. But listening to CP0's explanation, the upper level did not want to provoke Kaido. Only by transferring Lucas back to Marineford can he be saved. After all, Lucas is a very obedient tool man, and his potential is very high. Lucas felt a little upset. It seems that five elders did not come up with the idea of not breaking the balance of the world after the four emperors pattern. To put it harder, it means that as long as it does not threaten the celestial dragon's rule, where will the new world non-world government join the country? The upper level can transfer him away, and his promotion to Vice Admiral is only a matter of time. But, he is also a Marine, he still has a conscience in his heart. People's lives have just improved. They don't need to be afraid, don't have to endure oppression, and don't need to live under the threat of the enemy's long sword. He suddenly left for his own bright future. Advertisement. What is the difference between him and the guy he spurned? At least, let him see that the G5 Marines have enough strength to protect this place, and it's fine to leave. Give people hope, and while running away, give people despair. Is this a personnel matter? He cannot do it. It's just Jin and Quinn. Lucas asked, looking at the opposite pair. Yes, the leader CP0 nodded. However, even if you can kill Jin and Quinn, there will be Kaido afterwards, let's go. Let me think about it. Lucas replied in silence for a while. Okay, CP0 headed up and put a document in front of Lucas. Then the two went out and left the G5 Marine branch all the way. Above the sea, a warship slowly left the G5 Marine branch. CP0 has no idea of staying here to help Lucas. As a nice person, the headed CP0 thought to himself. This kind of person is best controlled. Another CP0 said with a smile. Lucas is too much like Sakazuki, and five elders' emphasis on each other's talents is only secondary. Mainly the character of the other party. One thing that is very similar to Sakazuki is that in their opinion, Lucas hates the pirates, and his set of justice is estimated to be similar to Sakazuki based on the speculation of CP0. After all, the other party had done the task of destroying more than 20 ship pirates before. This guy is no different from Sakazuki. Lucas is extremely enthusiastic about fighting pirates, and under Sakazuki's training, they believe that the other party is also an excellent soldier, with command as their bounden duty. Who doesn't like Sakazuki? Five elders, who is more talented than Sakazuki? Until now, Lucas was thinking about fighting the pirates. The gadget man has been arranged at five elders. However, what if he doesn't leave? CP0, who was standing behind, asked worriedly. Sakazuki and Pelusolino have a good relationship, Lucas will not be in danger. The headed CP0 glanced at the person behind him. Kaido is really here, Pelusolino alone can take Lucas away without injury, don't forget that person's speed. G5 Marine Branch, in the office. Lucas took the document in his hand and kept flipping through it. Advertisement. Kaido's beasts pirates are the remaining two of the three plagues, Jin and Quinn. The two led a large number of pirates and left Wano Kuni, and went to the G5 Marine branch to find him afterwards. CP0's intelligence is very good. It is filled with the analysis of Jin and Quinn, as well as the analysis of Kaido's pirates. The first is Jin, one of the three plagues, according to CP0's intelligence and information that Lucas himself knows. The information on Jin is as follows. Jin, nicknamed Blazing Calamity, is a person with zone dragon fruit ancient species toothless pterodactyl. Jin's name refers to the king in the playing cards. He is an unknown race. Whether he is in human form or when he transforms into a pterodactyl, his body burns with flames. Blindly guessing the flame is the ability of the opponent's race. After all, Lucas did not wait for the Wano Kuni warriors of the Straw Hat group to start a formal battle with Kaido before he was reborn. CP0 could not collect any other information about Jin. He can only guess blindly. The fruits of Jin brought him the ability to fly in the air, and greatly improved his attack power and speed, with super high mobility. Except for the plot of Jin kicking over the pirate ship of the BIGMOM pirates, Lucas did not wait for Jin to make an official move. I don't know if Jin has any whole cards. Lucas moved Jin's information aside, and then looked at Quinn as fat and funny look in the photo. Quinn, who is fat and ball-like, has a mechanically modified prosthetic in his left hand, with two golden beards on his mouth, a golden ponytail behind his head, and glasses tied with two ropes. Well, this guy is wearing a blue and white sling outfit. The picture of Quinn with a cigar in his mouth looks extremely funny. It is said that this guy likes to perform and dance. Lucas gave it a try. After he defeated Jin and Quinn, let Quinn dance. Quinn Tather shivered and performed dancing. It smells like a black hand behind the scenes next door ordering him to dance. However, if Jin represents mystery and power and air combat maneuverability, then Quinn represents trouble. Lucas was not afraid of his incarnation of a Brachiosaurus, he was afraid of Quinn's weapon. Plague Quinn. Quinn likes to research all kinds of chemicals. He worked with Vinsmoke Judge in a scientific research group called MADS a long time ago. The one that impressed Lucas the most was that in the plot, the virus-carrying bullet that Quinn studied, whoever hits, will be infected with the virus, and the virus spreads extremely fast. As long as you touch an infected person, the person you touch will also be infected. The infection is extremely fast, spreads extremely fast, and is fatal. Lucas looked at Quinn with a headache, and the dagger in his hand swiped across Quinn's photo. Chapter 181,179. Do a little bit of preparation, subscribe. Ask a monthly pass. Ask a reward. Advertisement. Quinn's bullet is too threatening. If he hits his men, if Lucas can't kill Quinn and the pirate who possesses the plague bomb faster, then, the marine that is hit will get an infectious disease, and the infectious disease will spread quickly through contact. As for pinning your hopes on your subordinates and willing to stay in place and keep your distance from others. No kidding. The more people I have seen, the more tragedies of the great pirate era. Lucas's original innocent ideas of modern people were ruthlessly destroyed bit by bit. Although the subordinates respect him very much, they are all very loyal to him. But if faced with the threat of life, no one can believe whether humanity can stand the test. But what if the infected subordinates were killed with a single shot? Lucas shook his head quickly. He could control it, but he couldn't kill it. If you kill the infected subordinate directly, no matter what consideration he is in, no matter how he treats other subordinates in the future, that will only leave a seed in the hearts of the subordinates, and no longer believe in him. Then so many things he had done before for his subordinates were in vain. If he wants to let his line spread out in Marine, he has to think more about something. Don't ask for how clever and resourceful you are, as long as you let your subordinates know that he is sincere for his subordinates. Therefore, the cracking of the plague bomb is imperative. Lucas went on to look at the intelligence. He knew Quinn's powerful recovery ability and defense. In the original book, Quinn, who was hit hard by BIGMOM, who was amnesia and did not exert his normal strength, could still stand up. It is enough to prove how strong Quinn's recovery and defense are. After all, they are the same three subordinates that Kaido values, and Quinn's Brachiosaurus form is also good. But one thing surprised Lucas. Open black lens bracket transformation of people, close black lens bracket. In CP0's investigation of Quinn, there is such a column of information. Quinn can stretch out a machine gun from his mouth and launch an attack. The neck, tail, and hair can be stretched to produce mechanical weapons, and mechanical fangs can grow in his mouth. Lucas's fingers kept tapping regularly on the table. Are these things CP0 intelligence or speculation? After all, he didn't see the plot behind Wano Kuni, and he knew only those things before. Quinn used to work with Vinsmoke Judge, so it's not impossible to transform people. Advertisement. Seeing CP0's writing on the intelligence in such detail, Lucas also fell into contemplation. It is very likely that this is also true. After all, Quinn always has shots, New World has many strong players, and there are always several shots included by CP. Zone's resilience, defense, and transforming people. Lucas directly put the pictures of Quinn and Jin together, and directly inserted the dagger in his hand. It seems that I can only work hard to increase the full range and try to kill one first. Quinn's intelligence looks relatively small and strong, and this guy is too troublesome. Jin's mobility is very strong, and his strength is also very strong. First try your best to kill Quinn in seconds, and then go to deal with Jin. Lucas stood up and went out. came to the training ground and saw Ah Jin on the training ground. Akin, come here for a moment. Ah Jin stopped things quickly and ran over. Go prepare. Lucas made some gestures to Akin and asked Akin to find someone to customize that kind of thing. It is probably the main body of a metal rod, with a curved part in front, similar to a riot fork. Use this kind of thing to prevent the infected Marine from running around. Lucas, Rear Admiral, someone contacted. A Marine ran over and handed Lucas the phone worm in his hand. Blue brew. Lucas took the call worm, and Vice Admiral's voice came from his ears. To his surprise, Kong Ming Vice Admiral came to New World. Lucas suddenly remembered a person, that was Cheng Yu under Vice Admiral Kong Ming. That guy, in the original book, had transformed a pirate boat into an organ ship, and the trap of the organ ship directly trapped Zoro and the others. Yes. What kind of anti-riot fork? Please ask Chengmu directly. Although Cheng Yu said that he was a boatman, it was not easy for him to make some gadgets for arresting people when he created those exaggerated mechanisms in the plot. After all, riot fork deals with ordinary people, and his subordinates are different from ordinary people in previous lives. If one of the things is not crossed, it will collapse across the board. It is simply safe to directly use the agency to trap the infected person. Kong Ming Vice Admiral heard that Lucas borrowed the castle wood, and directly agreed. Advertisement. After hanging up, Lucas breathed a sigh of relief. Ah Jin doesn't have to go to work anymore, he has a new task. Lucas contacted the world government and then CP0. Pandemic bomb. Yes. Understood. The person opposite nodded and hung up. He agreed to the request. CP0 has always had ulterior motives for Wano-kuni. They have been secretly collecting information about Wano-kuni over the years, and they did secretly collect the plague bombs that Lucas said. After all, something as terrifying as the plague bomb is too threatening. Akin left the training ground and headed to a building of Marine base. The doctors from the Drum Country who had been following Lucas before have been following Lucas as the ship doctors on the warship. Although they don't have the superb medical skills of a certain old woman, they are all elites in the field of traditional Chinese medicine. After following Lucas, Lucas used his power to help them collect many medical-related books from all over the world. These people don't need to fight at all, and they don't need to think about messy things. All you need to do is to study the medical skills, follow his way, and constantly learn about various plants, viruses, and medical skills around the world. And now, these elites from the original Drum Country are sitting together studying something. Anyway, Ah Jin couldn't understand. Everyone, please come with me, Rear Admiral urgently needs your help. Akin said. Well, pause for a while, we have more important tasks. An older doctor stood up, greeted the others quickly, followed Akin, and came to Lucas's office. Please come in. Ah Jin opened the door for the doctors, and the doctors walked in one by one, and then closed the door for them. Everyone, there is a virus weapon that will threaten the lives of all Marines and people in the town in the near future. I urgently need your help. Lucas said. Lucas, Rear Admiral is welcome, these are the things I have to wait for, said the elderly doctor. They have been reused by Lucas, who collects medical books from all over the world for them, allowing them to study medicine with all their hearts. They also received respect from Lucas that the Drum Country never had, and they also received a heavy salary from the other side. Faced with Lucas's request, of course they will do their best to complete it. Chapter 182,180. Truth is everywhere within range. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. Pandemic bomb. The elderly doctor looked at the photo Lucas handed in surprise. Yes, as far as intelligence knows, the plague bomb developed by Quinn hits a person, and it will infect people with a virus. Anyone who is touched by an infected person will be infected. Lucas introduced the capabilities of the plague bomb to several doctors. Our people have collected the plague bombs and will be delivered soon. Do you have the confidence to crack this virus? Lucas looked at several doctors and waited for their response. If it's just to cure his subordinates' usual minor illnesses, he doesn't need to call these elite doctors from the Drum Country. Their own existence is to solve all kinds of problems that come from poisons, viruses, and so on. Usually, he would give these people the most time to study various medical problems. Where they want medical books in the world, he entrusts them to get the books they need. And when he arrives, he will also go to the Kingdom of Torino in South Blue. In the original book, the plot of Chopper 3D2Y has been studied in medicine there. Take the doctors and let them have the opportunity to learn more medical skills there. What he needs is a doctor who is absolutely loyal to him and has excellent medical skills. As for why not go to Chopper directly? In fact, during the days when he stayed in Drum Country, he searched the entire Drum Country, and all of them were reindeer. He remembered the content on an unreliable timeline chart in his previous life. Although I don't know how the thing marked the birth time of Chopper, this is the real world, and it is obviously different from the things he searched in the previous life. He didn't find the blue-nosed reindeer, but the grumpy Laban beat a lot. Looking for Chopper's parents. Reindeer. It's all exactly the same, it's too difficult to be a man. Chopper didn't find it, nor did he find the kind of fruit that Chopper ate. He couldn't possibly Tenten waiting for Chopper, so he abducted some doctors from Drum Country first. The doctors agreed to this matter and promised to do their best to make the antidote for the plague bomb before Quinn arrives. The magnetic Drum Country did not experience the elite domestic doctors at the time of Wapple's policy devastation, and there are still so many people. With samples of the pandemic bomb, it should take some time to develop an antidote. Lucas collected the information and watched the doctors walk out. But everything can't just put all hopes on one thing just because of one or two unrealized means. Lucas went out and called Buddy over. How is the development of the new Buddy bomb? Lucas asked. Advertisement. Buddy took Lucas to his test site. There was a mountain on the island, and Buddy took Lucas to the empty cannon position. In front of them is a row of cannons. A box of new Buddy ammunition was stored on the side. However, compared to the previous Buddy bombs, this time the Buddy bombs have only increased their power a little. Buddy now spends most of his time researching on the question of how to increase the power of a miniature Buddy bomb to the same power as a normal Buddy bomb. Buddy brought Lucas to the test field not to show off his Buddy shells. After a while, some Marines pushed several cannons slowly, and the weapons experts from Clockwork Island also came. The group of people from Clockwork Island, now there are 3 groups of people doing different things. The researchers are divided into weapons research experts, who are responsible for improving their previous weapons on Clockwork Island, and then manufacturing them to arm his troops. Part of this group of people went to Marine Scientific Corps for research in accordance with the discussions between him and Vice Admiral Pelusolino. Of course, a part of it has always followed him. Of course, these people are only members of his faction wherever they go. Another wave of clockwork technologists is conducting research on the Clockwork Island mechanism. Through the parts and components, Clockwork Island can actually support such a large island, and some of their lives are inseparable from the development of wind technology. After so long, those people have successfully built a cannon that is more powerful than the original Clockwork Island plot. And the last group of people is the group of unskilled young people. They have always been by Lucas's side, and they are his earliest loyal subordinates. Several of Akin's team were from Clockwork Island. Among them, one developed the two-color hockey, and the other developed the observation hockey, who was good at using sniper rifles. Lucas watched the men come and greeted them. Thank you guys. Everything is what we should do. As the saying goes, the truth is within range. Several technical tycoons have carried out a major transformation of their cannons on Clockwork Island, and have successfully made the range of the cannons twice as far as the cannons used by Marine. Don't underestimate this 2 times. Advertisement. Xiao Xiao's 2 times the range advantage, coupled with a qualified gunner, the enemy's mother who can fight does not know him. The effect is as comfortable as playing in World of Warships. Try the effect, Lucas said, tapping the cannon. Good. In the distance, a Marine came slowly. Several people looked at each other one after another. Report Rear Admiral, away from our island. Marine finished reporting the situation and left. Lucas, Buggy, and the technical veteran looked at the cannon and laughed. Now it can be said that many people know that Lucas killed Jack, and Kaido was furious and sent Quinn and Jin to kill him. It stands to reason that no pirates around the New World G5 Marine branch will come to get bad luck these days. Lucas on one side, and Kaido's 2-3 plagues on the other. In the end, Tai Hanhan really wanted to come over and make trouble. It doesn't matter if the other party wants to please Kaido with this, it doesn't matter if he makes a name for him, or it really is Tai Hanhan. Lucas welcomed each other's arrival. The pirate ship was still far away from their island, and according to the other side's direction, they came to the northern shore of the island. The waves churned, slapped against the coast and washed the sand over and over again. In a clearing in front of the small forest behind the beach, a cannon is placed here. A sea crab slowly passed by the cannon, and a sudden bang of the cannon made it stunned and frightened away. The cannon shook visibly, and the shell blasted out, flying into the sky, drawing a long and far arc and flying away until it disappeared. Above the sea, the outline of the islands in the distance can be seen faintly at this time. A pirate ship sailed fast above the sea, and the pirate flag was hunted by the violent sea wind. A 6-meter-tall woman with a sturdy body and a fierce complexion stood at the bow of the ship, with a long knife in her hand pointed directly at the distant island. She was the female captain of this pirate ship. She is also a swordsman, although she is a bit burly, although her face is a bit ugly. But she looked at the island excitedly. Chapter 183,181. Mixed doubles for men and women. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. After her long-term research on Lucas, she came to a conclusion very confidently. That is, Lucas doesn't like beautiful women. Whether it's the beautiful Monet or the new Ain under the other side. Moreover, the other party had stayed on the Vice Admiral ship before, and he was not even interested in a female Marine. Later, this guy went to the Fishmen Island, so many beautiful mermaid beauties, he was still not interested. Therefore, the female pirate believes that Lucas, as the iron-blooded school educated by Sakazuki, is not interested in those beautiful women. Lucas must like a tall and burly figure like her. Upai has trained with Pectoralis Major, with 2 scars on her face. Every word of greetings from Zuin is inseparable. She is a woman who is more secure than a man, right? Monet. I'm all ready. Lucas, the old lady is here, let's go back and get married with my old lady. The fierce woman laughed after speaking. What if Lucas disagrees? Easy to handle, throw it on the bed. The female captain of the pirate is a big fan of BIGMOM, and she also wants to take a few men back to live with her. Her name is Rebecca, a person who didn't have any characters in the original pirate book, maybe she died in the chaos of New World. Regardless of her looks fierce and ugly, but now she is only in her 30s, she has developed the 2-color hockey, and also learned the entanglement of the armed color. Her talent is pretty good. In many contests with Marine, she has learned the other 6 styles: shaving, tempest kick, and iron body. And she is also a capable person, eating the fruits of zone. Although it is only a bird form with weak attack power, her aerial combat ability is very strong. Among her staff, at least 10 people know hockey, and 5 people are capable. She felt that she would have no problem taking Lucas away. After all, in her opinion, Lucas could only compete with Katakuri before, and Jack is one of the 3 plagues of beasts pirates. It was killed by Lucas. In her opinion, the other party must have paid some price, such as serious injury. Honey confident. Who told him that Katakuri equals Jack? Ahahaha, Lucas, just follow my mother and be my wife's captain's wife. The burly woman laughed. Advertisement. Quote. The crew behind her looked at the captain speechlessly, always feeling that the name of the captain's wife was weird. The burly women dreamed of her coming to the island, defeating the injured Lucas effortlessly, and then snatching each other, getting married, giving birth. Well, this guy has even thought about which sea area to choose the cemetery. Boom. A buggy bomb landed on the sea about 20 meters away from the ship. The explosion of the buggy bomb directly set off huge waves, and the seawater rippled continuously. Boom, boom, boom. 3 more shells flew in one after another, and one was closer to the pirate ship than the place where it exploded. The big knife in the burly woman's hand fell on the deck with a slam, and she watched in shock at the huge waves caused by the explosion of the buggy bomb. Is this the killer of the legendary Lucas Rear Admiral? Not good. With a telescope in his hand, a pirate saw Lucas on the distant island approaching the gunner. Retreat. The pirate quickly put down the telescope and shouted in horror, it was not his killer at all. What's the matter? The burly woman turned and looked at the pirate in confusion. She rarely reads newspapers. In her eyes, force is everything. What kind of newspapers does she read? She rarely reads Lucas's newspapers, but recently many pirates are discussing him. She only learned about Lucas's battle with Katakuri, and Lucas's killing of Jack. I just think this man is very powerful, he is good enough for her. She didn't care about Lucas's past experience. Sometimes a woman says, I don't care about your previous experience, to a man, which makes people very moving, but sister, will die. The pirate held a telescope and watched the small black spot flying in the sky keep increasing and getting bigger, and there were 10,000 inches IFK, in his heart. Run. This person didn't bother with the boss at all. He threw a small telescope over the railing and jumped out of the sea in a sprint, and swam into the distance wildly with the strength of milking. In the past, he just took that incident as a legend, as Marine brags himself in a shameless manner, and poured water into Lucas's record. But, since this moment, I personally saw the incredible scene, the scene that shocked the world, and the scene where Doflamingo has been cursing, TMD, in prison. This pirate, completely believed it. Advertisement. Many years ago, the Momo fruit-capable person was imprisoned in the underwater prison, and now there is another existence that is more terrifying than the other party. And this guy is still a Marine. Someone was sitting in the underwater prison and wept silently. Huh, everyone on the pirate boat looked at the guy in surprise, swimming like a motor, and rowing away from them like crazy. Is it so scary? The burly woman picked up the other's binoculars and looked into the sky. Hiss. She was surprised, and instantly dropped the binoculars, transformed into a bird shape, and flew into the sky with a swish, and her body continued to rise with flapping wings. My God. A pirate pointed his finger at the sky, speaking incoherently, and squatted on the deck with fright. His pants were soaked in fright and his legs were so frightened that he had no strength at all. In a short time, huge cannonballs flew towards their pirate ship. The pirates looked at the large number of huge buggy bombs in the sky, some were scared to pee, some jumped into the sea to survive, and some looked to the sky and cried to the captain to take them. Rumble. A loud explosion sounded continuously, long and huge, and shocked the residents of the distant islands. A loud noise overlapped and was deafening. The burly woman above the sky was scared to cold sweat by the terrifying scene below, and a terrible shock wave swept over her, almost losing her balance. The sea is so big, there are always some people who don't believe in many things, and find it too unbelievable. I didn't believe it until I saw it in person. Hey, the burly woman took a pity at the distant island, and she couldn't get that man anymore. But it was exactly the same, let her take a lesson. She no longer looked at the tragic situation below, no longer looked at the crew members, turned her direction, and flew away. Who allowed you to go? Success. 2 voices came from a man and a woman, and the burly woman was so frightened that she fluttered her hair, fluttering her wings and fleeing wildly with the strength of suckling. She has never been so desperate in a man. More and more snowflakes came and fell on her wings, as if a terrible blizzard was blowing in the air. More and more snowflakes filled the air, obscuring her sight, and the temperature in the air was getting lower and lower, as if to slow down the speed of her blood flow. Chapter 184,182. Humanoid Pluton. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. Monet is very angry. TMD. Even if the beauty fights Lucas with her, an ugly pirate wants to fight Lucas with her. WDNMD. Talking about taking Lucas away, Monet is now going to make a specimen of this B************* D snow seal and throw it into the snow on a winter island. A large number of snowflakes whirled quickly, bringing strong winds, and the female pirate flying in the air almost lost balance. She kept fanning her wings and flew towards the distance, but the temperature in the air was getting lower and lower, and a thin layer of snowflakes covered her wings. The cold wind grew stronger and stronger, until her wings were frozen hard by a large number of snowflakes, and the whole person fell instantly. Die. Lucas followed Moonwalk directly, slashing with a long knife in his hand. The beauty chased her, although she didn't have time to take care of her before, but she was still very good in her heart. But what the hell is this guy? Although he is not a masculine party, he has to look a little human. Looking at the female pirate who was constantly falling and turning around, the ugly sausage mouth gave him a mwah. Vomit. Little Lucas, you will be sister's person sooner or later. You want to die. Go to hell. The middle sentence was from Lucas, and the latter sentence was roared by an angry Monet. WDNMD. When she is dying, she has to M***T the person she likes, sinny. Monet completely ignored physical exertion and directly reduced the temperature to a terrifying level. The snowflakes in the air condensed, like ice crystal blades dancing in the air. Whoosh whoosh. Puff puff. What the female pirate did not expect was that Monet's snowflakes could become so sharp. Pieces of snowflakes inserted into her body, and the chill that made the soul tremble penetrated into her flesh and blood. Iron body. The female pirate shouted angrily, hearing only a burst of clear voices, and she blocked the flying snowflakes one by one. The female pirate looked at Monet in surprise. How did this woman make that kind of stuff so hard? This is totally unreasonable. Pieces of snowflakes hit her, but she was blocked. Everything happened in a short period of time, and the female pirate was about to fall into the sea. Advertisement. Lucas rushed in the wind, and the long knife in his hand flashed with a sound of breaking through the air. The female pirate kept the iron body. As long as she blocks the opponent's slash, she will enter the bird form again and escape. The female pirate kept her iron body state, looked at Lucas with a smile, and did not forget to tease her with her eyes. The tip of the knife hit her for a moment, but it was stagnant for a moment, and then Lucas used a force to directly break through the opponent's defense. His long knife pierced the female pirate's defense, pierced the skin and penetrated into the flesh and blood. Among them, instantly penetrated her body. The female pirate looked at Lucas in shock. Over the years, the iron body, which she was proud of secretly learning, was defeated like this. The female pirate looked at him with a grinning smile, and tightly grasped Lucas's blade with both hands. Let's be buried in the sea together, ha ha ha. Boom. Lucas kicked the female pirate and kicked the female pirate out. Puff. The female pirate's body was sprinkled with blood and fell into the sea, causing a wave of waves. The sea was dyed red with her blood, but the sea was rough, and the blood was diluted by the waves. Lucas stepped on the moonwalk and hung in the air, looking at a little pirate swimming and running away on the sea in the distance. Under the horrible buggy barrage bombing, someone ran away ahead of schedule. What a little clever ghost. Lucas slashed with a long knife in his hand, and a slashing wave flew quickly, slamming through the sky and directly hit the pirate who was swimming and escaping. The chopping wave directly divided the opponent's body into two, and then chopped it under the sea without any reduction. Okay, let's go. Lucas and Monet waved, and walked back to the island on moonwalk. Landing on the beach, Lucas took the white cloth handed over by his men, wiped the blade, and then inserted the long knife back into the scabbard. This female pirate, who could secretly learn the 6 forms from actual combat, can be regarded as a guy with a good talent. But this person obviously hasn't practiced iron body yet. Obviously I will be armed, so I have to play the iron body show. It's not that he looks down on iron body, and of course it's not how many people die in iron body that netizens say. In his opinion, iron body can be regarded as a good skill. It's just that people who died with iron body haven't gotten home yet. It is also a good ability to practice strong enough. Of course, in his opinion, it is better to be armed. Just now, their shells were tested, and the range was about twice that of Marines' cannons. Advertisement. Coupled with the power of the buggy bomb, coupled with his general ability to hang out, it's almost gone. Lucas suddenly realized that he gradually had the potential of Pluton. 5 Elders has one more reason to support him. Humanoid Pluton, who doesn't want Master to be in his hands? Where is the captain who ate marsh fruit? Lucas looked at Buggy and asked. He is the one. Lucas watched as the big guys who were a head taller than Buggy approached him. How does the ability feel? Lucas asked. I can stuff all kinds of weapons into my body, Rear Admiral, look. Captain Glenn stepped forward and directly reached out and took out a spear from his stomach. Take 2 shots, Lucas said. Understood. Captain Glenn held his spear and aimed it at the fruit on a fruit tree not far away. There was a crisp gunshot, and the fruit fell on the beach with a snap. Not bad. Lucas looked at Captain Glenn with satisfaction. In the last competition, a subordinate was selected to his satisfaction, and he gave the fruit of the strong city to the opponent. That guy can be transformed into a castle, hiding a lot of marine in his body, guns and cannons all in one. And a few days ago, he had another competition and selected the excellent Captain Glenn. The information he knows is what he learned from various devil fruit information in his previous life. Marsh fruit can turn any part of the body into a muddy bottomless swamp, and can throw a lot of things into the swamp in the body. For the time being, I don't see how high the capacity of marsh fruit is. His eyes lit up, looking at the captain. Since this guy even put the gun in, the gun is not broken and can be used normally, can you put the cannon in it? After all, in the original book, Caribou still stuffed the mermaid beauties into the swamp body, and the mermaid beauties were still okay, and they didn't suffocate. Science or something, he has given up arguing long ago. After all, in the unscientific world of pirates, Newton and many other scientific giants have chosen to lie down. Can you put a lot of cannonballs and cannons in your body? Lucas looked at each other and said with a smile. Big cannon. Captain Glenn looked at Rear Admiral in surprise. He hadn't thought about such a crazy idea. Chapter 185,183. Humanoid Ammunition Depot and Humanoid Artillery Castle. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. Yes. Lucas nodded and pointed to the cannon beside him. In his opinion, since the weapon placed in Captain Glenn's body can be taken out and used normally, they might as well try to put this cannon in Captain Glenn's body. When Jin and Quinn are here, they will inevitably face Lucas's cannonball barrage. Even if Jin can fly to escape, Quinn will not be able to escape. Now their cannons have a much improved range, and cannonballs can be used as a killer weapon against the enemy. Since you can kill the opponent from a distance, why do you want to hit me close? The reason is very simple, but people can't really let them fight like those idiot pirates. In the face of such an attack, will Jin and Quinn split into two routes to attack the island? There is only one Lucas, so their terrifying barrage defense has only one direction. Jin and the others can completely bypass that direction and divide them into two horsemen to attack the island. A direction without barrage bombardment will face the danger of the opponent's attack. The buggy bomb without boost is indeed very powerful, but it is only against ordinary pirates. It's not necessarily useful to deal with people like Jin. In the face of a dangerous situation, he needs more cards. And Glenn storing such cannons and shells in his body can solve the trouble of position transfer for Lucas and save a lot of time. One person is a position. I'll give it a try. Glenn nodded and said, walking to the side, his body turned into a shapeless swamp mud, pressed on the cannon, and constantly swallowed the cannon's steel body. In this way, a cannon was swallowed by Glenn's swamp body, and then Glenn's body returned to its original shape and disappeared. Yes, there is no problem at all. I can swallow a lot of these cannons and those shells. Glenn looked at Lucas and said with a smile. Lucas looked at each other. Try it. Good. Glenn nodded, then his body turned into the thick mud of the swamp, releasing a cannon and a buggy bullet that he swallowed easily. Advertisement. Glenn loaded the buggy bullets in and fired. Boom. A buggy bomb blasted out, straddling the sky and falling far above the sea, blowing up waves. Not bad. Lucas nodded in satisfaction. It seems that marsh fruit is also very unreasonable. The cannon is stored in it and there is nothing wrong with it. Could it be the reason that the capable person controls it properly? Just swallowing things, the cannon that enters the body, there is no dirt at all. After a while you will swallow some weapons and ammunition, but most of them will need this kind of cannon and buggy rounds. You will follow me in the next few days. Lucas said to Glenn. Understood. Glenn nodded and said, he intends to let Glenn follow him, as long as one of Jin or Quinn shows up, he can just drag Glenn and run over. Of course, it is also possible that Jin and Quinn are separated. When he deals with one person, the other person is still unable to deal with it in a short time. It is possible that when he was dealing with Jin, Quinn landed from the other side of the island, and many things were unclear. After all, the opponent was from New World Beasts pirates, and any trick could be used to avenge him. Kaido said that he respected his opponent, but Kurozumi Higurashi under Orochi used the ability of clone fruit to become Momosuke and calculate Kazuki Oden. Even as the dog said, Kurozumi Higurashi didn't know that he did this kind of thing, he respected his opponent, and he didn't bother to do this kind of thing. But what he did next was completely inconsistent with respecting his opponent. Katakuri fights with Luffy. His sister plots against Luffy. Katakuri hurts herself and wants a fair and equal battle. This is true respect for the opponent. Guys like Kaido are pure pirates, dressed in the skin of respecting the opponent and respecting the strong. Pirates in the true sense are not like some people. They are for power, ambition, money, desire, and so on. They can pursue these things by all means and don't put life in their eyes. Some people become pirates for amazing wealth, some people form large-scale pirate fleets for their ambitions to gain huge rights, and some people become pirates for their distorted psychological pursuits. Advertisement. Kaido is not a good bird either, who knows how he will deal with Lucas. For this, Lucas must be fully prepared, but fortunately, he has no one to be threatened. After all, his little brothers are still staying at Marineford. Marineford has the older generation of strong men like Garp, Zephyr, and Sengoku, as well as the strong men like Sakazuki and Pelusalino. His little brothers are eager to watch the elders gang fight Kaido. Lucas discussed with a few people next. He took Captain Glenn, and Captain Glenn could help him take out the cannon anytime and anywhere. As long as he was there, it would become a terrifying cannon position. Monet followed Lucas and led a group of Marines to help him. And the previous Marine who ate the fruit of Jonchung will follow Ajin. The opponent will have a lot of Marines in his body. Many Marines control new-style cannons. Although there is no help from Lucas, there are enough people to control them. There are enough cannons, and a lot of buggy shells shot out at the same time, which is very powerful. That Marine has developed a lot of Capone Bedge's abilities, which can transform tracks under his feet, and move quickly when running. And Ajin and his team are responsible for protecting those who have the ability to protect the City of Fruits. By the way, Ain and Bins also joined Akin's team, which is extremely powerful. Buggy is a little counselor. Ahem, Lucas knows best from the person of the heart. At the beginning of the game, he didn't intend to put Buggy on the frontal battlefield, and usually let the opponent spend more time studying the improvement of Buggy bombs. At the critical moment, he will let Buggy lead a team of Marines to patrol the town and around the island to protect people and maintain public order. By the way, if a fish slipping through the net comes to the island, it will be handled by them. To put it bluntly, Buggy is the captain of a security team. A few days ago, several Murlocs came to join the army and joined Zackley's underwater Murloc team. This Murloc Marine team has grown a little bit more. Murlocs and human Marines live and train together, but when fighting, they have a clear division of labor. The various teams are just names given by Lucas. The fish people will watch out in the waters near the G5 branch every day. As long as there are people from Beast's Pirates, they will be responsible for reporting the news to the island. And if circumstances permit, they will also cooperate with people on the shore to use Murloc karate to harass Beast's Pirates. Lucas finished arranging things, he was relieved, and Monet. Chapter 186,184. CP0 flying directly. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. The two returned to Lucas's office together and closed the door. Monet poured a cup of hot coffee for Lucas and placed it in front of him. Lucas sat in his seat, took a sip of coffee, and then looked at Monet. How has the training progressed recently? Lucas asked. Since the development of armed colors, I have been practicing what you call advanced applications. Now I have learned how to entangle. Quote. Lucas looked at Monet helplessly. He clearly remembered that he had taught Monet the skills of exchanging and Kong Ming. But it's not too disappointing. If Monet really learned to play outside in such a short time, then her talent should be very strong, and she would not be marginalized by Doflamingo in the original work, and later made a transformation. It's fine if Monet can learn to entangle. Monet looked at Lucas and sighed. Hey, it seems that his efforts are still not enough. You don't need to worry about being armed, just take your time. Lucas waved his hand quickly, motioning to stop thinking. How has John Wenlu practiced recently? The range of perception has more than doubled. Good. Lucas just boasted 2 words. Monet's loss was swept away in an instant. He looked at him. Quote. Your current strength is still not good. Remember to join me when you come, but don't get too close to me. Great. What? Clear. That's the truth. Lucas nodded in satisfaction, indicating that Monet could go out. Although he did not object to Monet chasing him, Beast's Pirates would come at any time and start a war against them. Advertisement. Lucas felt that most of Monet's time should be spent on training. Monet can be said to have followed him for the longest time. Since North Blue, Monet has been following him, learning kendo, learning 6 types, and developing hockey under his guidance. This is a real world. He has never regarded anyone as an NPC, whether it is the father-son relationship between them and Sakazuki's life for many years, or the officers and subordinates formed by working together with his subordinates for a long time. Friendship between. Or he and Monet. People are gregarious animals, and they will have feelings when they get along for a long time. If it is true that Sakazuki raised him up until now, he will treat Sakazuki as an NPC, and treat many people who get along with him only as NPC. That is impossible. He is not Chuzan, he is also affectionate. Father-son relationship, comradeship, brotherhood, mentorship, and love are all things that a person must have, unless that person is a robot. What Monet meant to him, he had seen it a long time ago, and now he only hopes that Monet can make her stronger, enough to save her life in the next battle, which is what he is most satisfied with. Of course, if Monet had a stronger strength to save his life while helping a lot, then he would be more satisfied. Lucas pulled out the file and looked at it. In the face of the incoming Beast's Pirates Jin, Quinn, and a large number of pirates, Lucas prepared a little bit of defense. First, Beast's Pirates will be blocked off the island with buggy bombs. According to the information he has obtained, Beast's Pirates only led 4 pirate ships this time out, and they are not afraid of each other in number. Even if facing his ability to match the cannonball barrage of buggy bullets, Jin and Quinn chose to split their troops, then they were not afraid. After all, Beast's Pirates does not yet have a luxurious team created by man-made devil fruit. The terrible thing about this team is not the pirates below, but the 2 troubles of Jin and Quinn. If no accident happens, they can shut these guys out. Of course, if the other party can really rush to the island, they have no choice but to start a passive plan. Shiroki will create an antidote that can imprison those Marines who have been infected by the Quinn plague bomb, and then he will treat the Marines with an antidote developed by the doctors. Regardless of strength, Quinn is the most dangerous. Lucas will kill the opponent in the fastest time, and then deal with Jin. 1 day later, in the G5 Marine branch, a warship docked on the shore. Chungmu and Zug Vice Admiral were separated and followed Lucas to the Marine base. On the way, Lucas told Shiroki his thoughts. It's not too difficult, but how long will Beast's Pirates arrive? Chungmu asked. If the other party arrives today, then he doesn't have time to build that kind of organ device. Advertisement. According to information, they will be here in about 3 days. Completely enough. Shang Mu said confidently. 3 days are enough, and he will be able to make it tomorrow. New world. Above the sky, a man wearing a white suit, mask and a pair of wings flew towards the G5 Marine branch. He is a CP0 member, responsible for sending the plague bomb samples collected from Wanokuni to the G5 branch, where there are very good doctors. Those people will be responsible for researching the poison on this plague bomb and creating an antidote. He did not raise any questioning questions. After all, he was a CP0 member. He only felt that he was a killing machine and a mission machine. The pair of wings on the back swayed vigorously and flew quickly. He ate a zone's devil fruit, but his bad luck was that his fruit, like the female pirate that Lucas had dealt with before, was in the form of a weak bird. Except for some special fighter crafts that I have researched, I just rushed on my way. Half a day later, this CP0 member came to the G5 Marine branch and looked at the heavily guarded island in surprise. Simple fortifications have been built on the shore of the island, and on each position, there are rows of cannons and all buggy bombs are used. Marines are constantly patrolling, ready to fight at any time. According to his perceptions, there is a murloc swimming under the sea waters near the island from time to time. Even if a pirate approaches, the island will spot each other for the first time. He untied the white bowler hat from his waist, put on the hat and walked towards Lucas's marine base. At a young age, he has not even reached the age of 20, and he has learned the entanglement and release of the armed color, as well as the armed color skills of Vice Admiral Kong Ming. Grandmaster 6 styles, there is also a pervert-like ability. He wanted to meet this man a long time ago. All the way to the G5 Marine branch, he finally met Lucas. This is what you want. He took out a box from his pocket, opened the lid, and motioned to Lucas to look at a few bullets in a transparent bag, and then handed the box directly to him. Quote. Lucas was helpless, it was like Habang inspection. Forget it, for some people, world government and their marines are not just world-class legal gangsters in their cloaks. Reaching out to take what was handed over by the other party, Lucas has a deeper understanding of the abilities of the CP organization. Chapter 187,185. Special Armed S**X skills. Fight for CP0. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. It turned out that at this time, the CP organization had already extended the paw of intelligence to Wano-kuni. It doesn't matter if the other party picked up the plague bomb or stolen it with great effort. What I have to say is that all aspects of intelligence and petty theft are still good at CP. Lucas quickly sent samples of the plague bomb to several doctors, and then returned to his office with the CP0 member. The door was closed, and the two sat opposite each other. This time I brought new information. CP0 member took out a document from his clothes and handed it to Lucas. Lucas opened the document with a serious face, took out the information inside and read it. This time, in addition to Beast's pirates Jin and the 4 pirate ships led by Quinn, there will also be 5 pirate groups. A total of 15 small pirate groups will attack G5 on the same day. CP0 member said to Lucas. The following is the detailed information of these pirates. Understood. Lucas collected the previous information, and then looked at the pirate list information below. Looking down one by one, Lucas kept flipping through. These pirate groups have more or less members with hockey, some have a pirate ship with a knowledgeable person, and some have 5 or 6 bicolor hockey-capable people on a ship. According to the number of these people in a single round and the people who know hockey, what they will face will be more difficult than he thought before. Among these people, one of the things he was fortunate about was that they were incapable. Lucas looked through the entire intelligence several times, but he didn't see a capable person, really. But the number of cannon fodder and the number of people who can use hockey is really troublesome. How are their armed colors? Lucas asked. The information does not indicate the strength of each person's armed color, and whether or not to use advanced armed color information. 5 people will use entanglement. It is these 5 people. Their armed colors are strong, but... CP0 waved his hand. In the face of you, they can only be regarded as dead guys. That's it. Lucas nodded. Then, under the barrage of a large number of buggy bombs, these guys are not a problem. If they don't get close to the island, their ship will be sunk. Of course, the first thing is to ensure that they can sink their ship before these people land on the island, otherwise Lucas will have to face Jin and Quinn after these people land on the island, and it will be in trouble. Advertisement. By that time, his people will inevitably be killed or injured. The biggest advantage of his G5 branch is not his elite marine, but the terrifying buggy. Those with the fruit of the strong city can put a lot of cannons in their bodies, which can be regarded as a combination of Lucas and buggy bullets with incomplete increase. Enough for those guys. Because the new artillery technicians have just developed it, it is a finished product. Now this new type of cannon has not yet begun formal production. Therefore, except for the marine on Lucas's side, the fruit ability of Zhangcheng only uses the original old cannons. However, he believes that even if there is no range advantage, the opponent with strong firepower can suppress the enemy at sea. Recently, you have attacked the pirates too hard, chasing and killing those pirates too often. And those pirates are threatened by you. After all, you are a match for Katakuri. They dare not cause you trouble alone. So they took advantage of the 2-3 plagues of Beast's pirates to attack the G5 branch before they came to ruthlessly. Lucas sneered. The CP0 member nodded. Lucas reluctantly collected the information of these pirates. He wouldn't be tough with the pirates, he could use a killer with a buggy bomb, and he would blow it up if he should. When he said to find someone, he didn't go there specifically for Ajin. Buggy is what he is looking for. After all, after North Blue and Vice Admiral shot Doflamingo together, he realized an excellent cooperation. His ability plus buggy bomb approximately equals Pluton. His ability plus buggy bullets plus new cannon range is infinitely close to Pluton. Lucas and the CP0 sat in the room to rest for a while. He thought that the other party was asking to stay with him to deal with Beast's pirates. He didn't expect that after a while, this guy stood up. Rear Admiral, try it with me. I want to know how far I am from you. Oh, Lucas put down the coffee cup and looked up at this guy unexpectedly. This guy wants to challenge him. CP is the highest secret cipher pole, CP1 to CP9 respectively. They are called the strongest shield of celestial dragons. Advertisement. After all, there are only a few people who can climb up without much force like Spandam. Except for people like Spandam and his son, most CP members will start training from an early age. With all kinds of cruel training, celestial dragons don't care whether their body will be hurt. These guys are just killing machines. All lurking, gathering intelligence, and assassination are just to ensure the stability of celestial dragons' regime and life. Most of this organization still uses force as the standard. On top of the strongest CP9, the existence of CP0 is actually hidden. CP0 is the strongest existence in the true CP organization. He had a fight with the CP9 guy before at Marineford, and the guy he was hitting shit. But that guy knows the Six Kings Spear, obviously a good presence in this CP. How strong are you as a CP0 member at a higher level? No problem. Lucas quickly responded excitedly looking at the man who was full of fighting spirit. Go. Although he abused the CP9 member before, but CP9 was sent to test him with Six King Spears. He thinks that this CP organization is full of talents, how many surprises CP0 can bring him. The two walked to the outside training ground together. The CP0 member took off his clothes and threw it to a recruit in the distance. Lucas was standing with this guy, he was 2 heads shorter than this guy. Tisk tut. It seems that his height is considered normal in pirate world, and it is quite helpless to meet someone taller than himself from time to time. The CP0 took off his hat and revealed his bald head. Since the other party came here, until now, apart from providing information and providing samples of the plague bomb, this guy has never said his name. Be careful. The bald head CP0 posed a pose. Before Marine could say to start, he directly used the shaver to move at high speed, and the whole person instantly rushed behind Lucas. In the form of human beings and beasts, his wings and feathers were covered with armed colors, and he slashed directly at Lucas. Lucas reacted quickly, avoiding the opponent's attack. Chi 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 chi. This guy's wings scattered feathers, and each feather was wrapped in an armed color, and he was chasing Lucas. Chapter 188,186. Are you kidding? It's not serious. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. The feathers entwining armament hockey were stuck on the ground. Lucas looked at CP0 with his bald head unexpectedly. This guy was quite thoughtful. Wrap the feathers with an armed color, and the flying feathers can penetrate the enemy's body like a dart. The bald CP0 wings spread out, and the feathers on the wings quickly shot towards Lucas. A large number of feathers entangled armament hockey and flew out to completely obscure the sight. This guy's ability directly blocked Lucas's dodge direction. Lucas held a long knife in both hands and danced the blade like a round reflective wheel, and flew the flying feathers one by one. What a fast speed. The bald CP0 looked at Lucas in surprise, the knife in this guy's hand turned dazzlingly fast. Bald CP0 continued to shoot feathers at Lucas, but disappointingly, the thing that this guy turned into a bald bird did not happen. In Lucas's sight, the feathers on CP0's bald head continued to grow back. Life back. Yes. Bald CP0 nodded and said, through Zone's powerful resilience, combined with his life's ability to freely control anywhere in the body. His feathers can continue to grow back and continue to shoot Lucas. As long as he eats enough food, saves enough energy, as long as there is energy, he can continue to fight like this. Lucas looked at this man in surprise. Talent. If this guy's feathers had some special effects, it would be almost the same as the Yuhei skills in Ghoul. Chang chang. Lucas waved his long knife with both hands, blocking the feathers. The bald CP0 used shave and quickly rushed behind Lucas. Feather once again lost at Lucas. Chang chang. Lucas was much faster than the opponent, turning around when the opponent came behind him, and continued to block all the feathers from the opponent. It's Lucas Rear Admiral. Bald CP0 complimented, and then the whole person flew into the sky. Pieces of feathers wrapped around armament hockey shot down from the sky quickly. Lucas completely ignored the opponent's non-dead angle attack, and continued to wield his long knife to block feathers. The moves are really handsome, and it really reminds Lucas of Yu Hyuk in a favorite animation in his previous life. But, advertisement. His speed was too fast. Under the rapid swing of the long knife, it completely blocked all the feathers flying in the sky without a dead angle. Awesome. The recruit from a distance looked at the two in shock. The guy with the mask is extremely handsome, but his speed against Lucas is completely useless. The recruits looked at Lucas Rear Admiral excitedly, and one day they will become such a powerful person as Rear Admiral. What? Bald guy, his moves are handsome. It's a fart, but he can't beat Lucas at the speed of facing Lucas. What a man wants is to be strong, the sooner the better. Boom. Lucas instantly accelerated his whole body, and directly stepped out of a circle of cracks on the ground. With the increase in speed, his moonwalk, the fast bald CP0 couldn't react at all. Lucas came immediately behind the bald CP0. This guy sensed his presence, but did not react at all, and suffered a heavy blow directly to his body. The bald head CP0 quickly fell to the ground, and was immediately hit by Lucas and lost consciousness. Disarmed, disarmed, and disarmed. Boom. He fell to the ground and woke up. Although very unwilling, but, I lost. Bald CP0 said helplessly. His trick, above the sky, for normal people, it can be said to be shooting without blind spots. It's just that using that trick in the air, he has to bear a much greater burden than using it on the ground. To shoot without dead ends, there must be enough feathers for lacing, but you must ensure that you fly in the air. So he can only use moonwalk while using that trick. Using both abilities at the same time is a big challenge for his physical exertion. Generally against other opponents, he can quickly kill the opponent in seconds, and even kill a large number of people. But Lucas's fighting style actually also means quick battle. Lucas was too fast, he couldn't react too fast. Moreover, his armed color is not as good as Lucas, his own feather strength is completely inadequate, and he can't achieve the effect of forcibly suppressing and controlling Lucas with firepower. Advertisement. So, he was seconded by Lucas. The idea is good, but your armed color is not strong enough. Lucas said, thinking in his heart that the other party's reaction was not enough, but he was helpless because he slowly adapted to the reaction that he practiced under the condition that the growth rate was gradually superimposed. Maybe it was him himself. The physique does have this talent, so he doesn't know how other people should practice it. The two walked back to the office together, and the CP0 said to Lucas. My mission, in addition to bringing you the plague bomb samples and intelligence, is also the mission of staying on this island, waiting for you to study the plague bomb antidote and take it back. Bald CP0 said. Originally, experts from the world government also conducted research on the plague bombs, but those people spent some time and did not study the antidote to the plague bombs at all. The intelligence collectors organized by CP started investigating Wano-kuni early. They also want a copy of the antidote to the plague bomb. In fact, they just want to use the poison and antidote together in their actions after getting the antidote. Unfortunately, the top scholars in the world government spend their time on other tasks, and the top scholars have no time to study such things. The tasks are given to them by the world government, but the priority is higher. The bald CP0 just said to take the antidote, and did not mention staying here to help Lucas deal with the pirates together. After all, this is not his task. If our antidote hasn't been created yet, are you willing to fight against the pirates with us? Lucas smiled and looked at this guy. Bald CP0 frowned, he never thought of helping each other. But the elite team of doctors from the magnetic drum country has the ability to crack the plague bomb. Today the drum country is still the world's largest medical country, and the level of doctors in the drum country is no joke. I will pick them up to ensure the progress of the research. The temperature in the air instantly dropped to the freezing point, and Lucas looked at this guy with a cold face. They can guarantee the success of my battle against Beast's pirates this time. You disrupt my mission. Lucas put his hand on the hilt of the knife, killing intent everywhere. Just kidding. The bald CP0 waved his hand quickly, scaring him into a cold sweat. If Lucas killed him for this reason, he would not even cry. CP0 will be joking too, it's not serious. Quote. Chapter 189,187. Who set the flag? Come and get it. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. The bald CP0 is speechless and I don't know how to say it. I'll work out the antidote, and I will give you the antidote, but if you don't find it out, you will stay here to help me deal with Beast's pirates, how about? Lucas looked at the other side and said. Good. Lucas watched this guy walk out of his office, and if this guy dared to do something that made him angry, he dared to knock this guy's leg off. Marine still has a lot of people working hard for justice. But the people in the CP organization are really untrustworthy. He recently cooperated with the CP organization and obtained first-hand information provided by the other party. But that was just cooperation. The medic on his warship was his subordinate. Now he doesn't want to abandon the people on this island, so he is ready to deal with Quinn and Jin. Once there is an accident at the time, the pirate goes to the island, and the plague bomb in the pirate's pistol hits his person, then the antidote will come in handy. But this guy wanted to take the doctors away just now. Just now, as long as this guy dared to continue saying, take away, then he dared to knock off this guy's leg. It just so happened that this guy and the CP9 group before were a crippled duo. The people of the CP organization are ultimately untrustworthy. These guys have experienced extreme training and education since childhood, so it is normal for any extreme guy to come up with uncontrolled thoughts. Before Jin and Quinn of Beast's pirates arrived, their doctor's research was finally done. Lucas stood in front of the doctors and motioned to them to silence. It is indeed a doctor from the drum country, and the technology is amazing. Although not as good as Chopper, it completely abused the group of scholars in the world government. Lucas handed the antidote to several doctors, indicating that they could continue to make the antidote. With a cheering gesture to them, Lucas walked out. Leaving the house where the doctors were studying, Lucas saw the bald guy sitting a few hundred meters away. Since that day, Akin, Monet, Alain, and Binz have been around the doctors and patrolling outside the house. With the two marine teams, they completely blocked the untrustworthy CP0 members. Bald CP0 also guessed in his heart whether the other party has already worked out an antidote. But these people didn't let him contact the doctors at all, but they couldn't beat Lucas. Advertisement. Hard or soft or useless. If you get a few steps closer, you will be warned by Marine. If you dare to enter the house, Lucas will come and knock him on the leg. TMD. He was so wronged by CP0. Tomorrow Beast's pirates will be here, go and drink. Lucas beckoned to him. Bald CP0 looked at him speechlessly, just don't trust him like that. In other words, before the war, what was the horrible situation of drinking? Oh, Mr. Bald doesn't drink, or coffee. Quote. Coffee is fine. Bald CP0 nodded. Lucas tells him every day that it will come out soon. It's impossible for him to leave. People are almost working out the antidote. What should you do if you leave the task? He was a task machine, and he didn't allow himself to run away. It seems that tomorrow he is going to deal with the pirates together with the other party. Lucas looked at this guy. Although he couldn't see his face through the mask, he always felt that the other person's expression was not very good. Poke CP0, a group in a good mood. The two returned to Lucas's office. Bald CP0 looked at each other's coffee silently. Especially, he thought he would ask for coffee when he went out for dinner. Nice rear Admiral. On the second day, the sky was still dark, and the entire Marine base became busy. A team of Marines started patrolling along the shore, and the gunner began to prepare. Lucas stood on the edge of the town, looking at the gray sky. Murloc Marines have gone to sea and began to patrol the nearby waters. As long as a pirate ship appears in the nearby waters, they can be notified. Then proceed to battle. Since he became the base chief of this Marine base, he has proposed to Marine Headquarters Marineford to increase the demand for artillery and buggy bombs. Buggy bullets were the technology they provided, and later they would provide new cannons. At that time, his technicians were about to make the first new cannon. Advertisement. Neither world government nor Marine can resist this temptation in the face of twice the range. This means that they can completely suppress the pirates in sea battles in the future. The G5 Marine branch of Lucas received a large number of cannons and buggy rounds, and the upper level gave them priority on the weapons they produced. It can be said that although Lucas is not the commander of the Marine Scientific Corps, he has always had a lot of technical credit. This made Pelusolino even more depressed, and regretted that he didn't transfer this kid to his hands. For every distance on the shore, there is a cannon. Buggy bombs are sufficient. There are 2 small cannon positions in the east and west directions. The number is more than other places. And those 2 guys. The bald CP0 looked at the strong fruit of Jonchung and the marsh fruit capable Captain Glenn. The body of Jonchung fruit ability is equipped with a lot of marines, cannons, and buggy shells, which is a large artillery position that can be moved quickly. This guy is in the northern position. And Captain Glenn has a new cannon in his body, which has a range twice as long as other cannons. He and Lucas defended the southern position together, matching Lucas's abilities. It can be said that whoever comes from the south will destroy the ship and die. Bald CP0 shook his head. Whether it was equipment or marine reinforcements, Lucas had already abused the pirates. A few days ago, other bases sent a lot of marines one after another. New World Marine has a rising momentum. The base leaders of other marine bases can't wait to come and fight in person. However, only an increase in troops is allowed above. After an analysis of CP0 with a bald head, he believed that the pirates had no chance of winning at all. After equipping G5 to explode those guys, Lucas has advanced combat power. Therefore, this is why he planned to take the doctor away a few days ago. But helplessly, Lucas's fist was relatively big, and he did not have any instructions from the upper level. Above the vast sea, before the sky was up, there were pirate ships sailing towards the G5 branch. On the sea, a Murloc emerged from his body, looking at the outlines of a dozen pirate ships that appeared in the distance. G5 Marine Base. Lucas received a report from a Murloc Marine and found a dozen pirate boats in the direction of that Murloc. Not long after, he received another report, and in another direction, he found more than a dozen pirate ships. Reports kept coming, and a large number of pirate ships were found in every direction, far exceeding the number stated by the intelligence. Reports are still coming, and the atmosphere around Lucas is getting more and more serious. This is your information. Chapter 190,188. A huge crisis from under the sea. For subscription. For reward. Advertisement. There are many pirate boats sailing towards G5 in the sea area where each Murloc Marine is located. The number of pirates now is completely inconsistent with what the intelligence says. However, it is also possible that these pirates only set out to attack G5 after this CP0 came. Because of the timeliness of the other party's information, it is indeed no wonder the other party. But as a member of the CP organization, you should be able to get in touch with the organization and get the latest intelligence. Obviously, this guy is very incompetent. This bald CP0 looked at Lucas awkwardly. He did not pay too much attention to intelligence issues these days, but Tendon squatted outside the doctor's room, waiting to get the antidote, and left directly to complete the task. Lucas glanced at this person disappointedly. It seems that the CP members of this session are not as good as he thought. Sometimes, in order to become the best person, in addition to strong strength accidents, you also need to have a conscientious heart. Obviously, this guy is negligent. Many years later, Lu Chi can be regarded as a good CP member. At least better than this guy. Everyone is in good spirits, all are ready to fight. Don't be stingy with your buggy bullets. As long as the enemy enters the range, shoot directly. Lucas shouted to his men. Here his subordinates, there are other surges, with serious expressions, ran to their respective positions. The loader loaded the buggy bullets into the cannon. The artillery stared at the sea with all their attention. As long as the enemy enters the range, they will start frantic bombing. Now the G5 branch has enough buggy ammunition, and the shells are prepared in several times the amount. Even in the face of the current number of pirate ships, their shells are completely sufficient. Send an order to the Murloc Marine to avoid the several pirate groups shown in the intelligence, and use Murloc Karate to attack other pirate groups. Try your best. If you encounter danger, you can hide first, and then find the right time to continue the sneak attack. Lucas said to Monet. Understood. Monet nodded and went to contact the Murloc Marine. Many people on the shore Marine are a little nervous. Although they have prepared surplus ammunition and have the best equipment, it is the first time these people have faced so many pirate groups. However, due to the bald CP0's dereliction of duty, no one would give this guy a good face. Above the sea, pirate boats broke through the waves and rushed towards G5. Suddenly, a rapidly rotating ocean current rushed from the sea and hit the hull. Since receiving the order, all the Murloc Marines distributed in the surrounding waters have begun to select targets for sneak attacks. Advertisement. There are few pirate groups mentioned in the intelligence, these Murloc Marines will not provoke them, and other pirates are their sneak attack targets. The ocean current controlled by Murloc Karate is extremely dangerous and directly smashes the hull of a ship. It's not good, the cabin is leaking. On a pirate boat, a pirate yelled anxiously, took the boatman, and hurried to repair the cabin urgently. Other people also help. The pirate captain yelled. The sound of the rushing ocean current rang in his ears, and the captain of the pirate hurriedly looked towards the sea. A sea current rushed out of the sea, an unstoppable impact, over his head, and hit the main mast with a bang. Click. The main mast cracked and the pirate captain quickly drew his gun and fired under the sea. This strange ocean current is very similar to the Murloc Karate used by Murlocs. Although this guy's strength is not very good, but if you come a few more times, their boat will really be finished. In the sea, the Murloc Marine in the potential water had already changed positions. The captain of the pirate did not see bleeding on the sea, and quickly shot at other positions. Another ocean current hit the main mast with a bang. Click. The main mast cracked more and more, and screamed that it was about to break. Where are you? Get out of me, despicable fellow. The underwater Murloc didn't pay any attention at all. Every time he shot, he would move a position. But these pirates were lucky. It was him who met him. His Murloc Karate is not as good as Zachary, not to mention Jinbei. On the pirate ship, the captain of the pirate ordered all the crew to shoot under the sea, and he was bound to force the guy out. The pirates had guns in their hands, and the bullets kept hitting the sea, but the bullets entered the water, and the rate of fire was significantly slower. For the extremely flexible Murlocs in the sea, the threat is not that great. These pirates are all pirates who have decided to come to attack the G5 Marine branch in recent days. New World is the world of pirates. After Lucas came to G5, he destroyed too many pirate groups. Although for New World Marine, this is their opportunity for the rise of New World Marine. But for the pirates of New World, they don't want the annoying Marine to reverse the situation in New World. There is a top pirate group like Beast's Pirates in front of them. Of course, they are willing to come together to add a fire, maybe Beast's Pirates can accept them. Advertisement. On the sea surface, another ocean current rushed out, hitting the cracks in the main mast of the pirate ship with a bang. Click. The main mast broke instantly and fell down, partly pressed against the ship, and a large part inclined towards the sea. The entire pirate ship shook violently for a while, and all the pirates with guns rolled over the deck unsteadily. A few hapless guys fell into the sea. Before long, the pirate ship was completely sunk. The Murlocs lurking in the sea killed the pirates who fell into the water one by one, and then proceeded to the next pirate ship. In the sea in the other direction, a huge ocean current rushed out of the sea and hit the main mast of the pirate ship severely. Click. The main mast broke instantly, and the pirates twisted and fell to a deck. Before they could stand up, another huge current rushed in, blasting the hull of the pirate ship into a big hole. In the sea, Zachary the Murloc successfully sank a pirate ship with only a few moves. His Murloc Karate is stronger. However, he also followed Lucas's orders, and a few powerful pirate groups ignored them. In these pirate boats, although there are many, there are more trash fish. But apart from Beast's Pirates, there are still some powerful pirate groups. The current fish people just attack other pirates. Pirate ships sailed towards G5 while the sky was still dark, but the fishers also took the opportunity to use their fighting methods and took advantage of the night to sink the pirate ships. When the fishmen destroy a pirate ship, they will hide in the sea, and then launch a sneak attack on the pirates. Encountered the pirates who know hockey, those people jumped into the water to fight against them. The Murlocs ran straight away. Although the sea is their home court, few of these people have developed hockey. They just clean up trash fish. Chapter 191,189. Jin's Torn Line of Defense. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. The pirate ship has appeared. On the shore, a marine shouted, lowering the telescope. Except for the 4 positions, there are cannons at intervals on the other shore. But the artillery in this direction is indeed enough. The gunner began to test fire. Boom. The sound of a cannon broke the tranquility of the small town early in the morning and awakened the sleeping people. However, Marine informed in advance that none of these people did panic. An individual cannot fall asleep, waiting at home, praying silently for the Marines. Over the years, the people in the town where their G5 branch is located have met Marine who sincerely protects them for the first time. They also sincerely respect and love them. On the island in the early morning, a cannon tore through the gray sky, and a buggy projectile slashed an arc, hitting a pirate ship entering range with one blow. I saw a terrifying explosion and flames soaring into the sky, instantly engulfing a pirate ship. My test shot directly hit a pirate ship. The gunner who fired the gun looked at the light in the distance in surprise, and exclaimed excitedly. Another large number of pirate ships are coming. A gunner in the distance shouted loudly. Pirate boats continued to appear on the sea in the distance, and the sound of gunfire sounded. Buggy shells burst out of the chamber, and shells fell on the sea not far from the pirate ships, blowing up huge waves. Boom, boom, boom. Although many buggy bombs missed, 3 buggy bombs hit 3 pirate ships. Buggy bullets are very powerful. As long as they are hit, these pirate ships will be swallowed by terrifying power. The wreckage of the 3 pirate ships burned with fire, illuminating the gray early morning. On the shore, most of the gunners found a pirate ship after another. The sound of artillery fired one after another, more intense than the sound of the New Year's artillery. The ear-splitting sound of artillery continued to sound, and the pirate ships were hit by shells one after another and were destroyed. Where did they get so many buggy bombs? On a pirate ship, the pirate captain slapped the railing angrily. Lucas's troops fired cannons without money. If one can't hit, then 2 cannons. If 2 cannons can't hit, 3 cannons. With enough artillery shells, sink a pirate ship and earn 1. Boom boom boom. The sound of artillery continued, and these pirate ships that had come to attack G5 were constantly sunk by terrifying buggy bombs. Advertisement. Rumble. A cannonball flew from the sea and directly hit a cannon on the shore, and a cannon was destroyed. The fire blazed into the sky, and the cannons and gunners there were swallowed by the explosion. Damn it, they are too cunning. The pirate captain scolded angrily. In his binoculars, he saw that the cannons on the island were far apart, and each shell was delivered by a special person. In this way, even if a cannon is hit, it will not cause a chain reaction. Moreover, the shells were transported by people from farther places, and the arsenal was not on the shore. The cannon that was hit just now contained only a few buggy shells, which could not affect other cannons at all. Does it take much effort for people to quickly transport the shells on the spot? This is what the increase in troops does, cough cough cough. But this is really safe. Run. The captain of the pirate gave orders directly and directly ordered the crew to turn the bow. Buggy bullets are too hard, and these bastards use this type of bullets as if they don't need money. They don't want to fight anymore. In the future, I will endure the most, and run into Lucas to hide. TMD, the unmanned marine. There are many pirates who agree with these people. They themselves want to play G5 with Beast's pirates, hoping to be in Kaido's eyes. Since they can't fight, then withdraw. Suddenly, after a pirate ship turned around for a certain distance, a large ocean current rushed out of the sea and bombarded a ship. The main mast of the pirate ship was directly broken, and then another sea current rushed in, directly sinking the pirate ship. Damn it, this be asterisk 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 D again. ... 2 pirate ships approached slowly, and Jin, who was standing on the ship, looked at the crazy fire on the distant island. Trouble. Jin was burning with flames, his body stretched out a pair of wings, and flames were burning on his wings. Whoosh. Jin rose up into the sky, glanced at someone in the sea, and ignored him. The whole person flew quickly in the air. No matter how anxious the artillery on the shore, they just couldn't hit him. The 2 pirate ships led by Jin stopped outside the range of the cannon on the shore, waiting for the opportunity. Jin quickly dodged the shells, watching the pirate ship sinking on the sea below. Sure enough, waste is just waste, no matter how large it is. Facing Marines' armed forces, it is only the outcome of being crushed. Jin rushed to the shore in an instant and kicked a cannon. Advertisement. Boom. The muzzle of the kicked cannon turned upside down, and the buggy shell that was supposed to be shot at the pirate flew out of the cannon, rose into the sky, and exploded above the sky. Jin kicked the artillery in front of him with the other kick, only a crackling sound, even the opponent's bones were kicked off. Kill him. The Marines yelled loudly, drawing out their long knives one by one, swinging them at Jin. Jin was constantly and quickly shuttled between these Marines. As long as he was close, it would be the tragic death of a Marine and a cannon kicked into the sea by him. He must tear a gap in the G5's terrorist fire defense as soon as possible to achieve the purpose of allowing the pirates to land on the island. Although in his opinion, those pirates are just rubbish, but only by breaking the defense of G5 and then killing Lucas is the ending they want. Puff puff. Feathers entwined with armed colors shot out, but it was a pity that Jin had already flown into the sky. Bald CP0 rushed over, staring at Jin nervously. He didn't know if he could beat Jin, but as long as he persisted until Lucas came, he would be able to retreat. Humph. Jin snorted coldly, and rushed directly to kill this guy as soon as possible. The bald CP0 directly used the shave to hide, but Jin instantly chased him up, kicking him up. The bald CP0 hurriedly covered the armed color with his wings to block Jin's attack. Boom. The bald CP0 kicked and flew upside down, hitting the ground fiercely, smashing the ground into a crack. Jin rushed quickly and stepped on this guy's head with one foot. Boom. The bald head CP0 rolled a few times, looking at the pit that had been made by Jin. So strong. Whizzing. The two flew to the sky in an instant, entangled and fought quickly. On the ground, Marine's gun couldn't aim at Jin at all, so he could only continue to fire and bombard the pirate ship approaching at sea. The bald head CP0 was shot down again and again, and flew up again and again. At the same time, Lucas's position. Understood. Lucas quickly hung up the contact, leaving Captain Glenn here. He had just learned that Jin had broken through and landed, just over 1,000 meters away from the shore of the pier. You stay here. If any direction informs you that Quinn has appeared, you will go and support it. Lucas gave a command to Captain Glenn, and quickly rushed to Jin's direction. Chapter 192,190. Jin, Quinn Siege. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. In the gray sky in the early morning, two figures flew quickly above the sky. The bald CP0 fluttered its wings, seeing and hearing the color perceiving Jin's position, using Tempest Kick with both legs to kick out one after another chopping wave. Whoosh whoosh. Jin dodges a series of slashes flexibly, and rushes towards CP0 with his bald head. He is also a capable person who can fly into the sky. Jin's speed is much faster than the opponent. One is a toothless pterosaur form, and the other is just an ordinary bird form. You can imagine who is faster. Boom. Jin kicked the bald CP0's belly, this time with all his strength, directly kicked the opponent's armed defense with one kick. Ah! A scream came, and a blood hole was kicked directly into the belly of CP0 with the bald head, his ability was relieved, and the whole person lost his strength and fell. Boom. He fell to the ground, and Jin, who was in the sky, fell down quickly, slamming his foot on the opponent's head. This CP0 member, who was struggling to delay time, died tragically here. Jin looked at the small town in the distance, and he sensed Lucas's figure. However, he chose to destroy the cannons on the shore first, otherwise, faced with the suppression of Marine's powerful firepower, the pirates would not be able to break through the defense. A slashing wave slashed directly at him horizontally, and Jin spread his wings and flew into the sky, avoiding the slashing wave. This huge slashing wave came to the sea in an instant, flying parallel to the sea surface, and directly sinking an advancing pirate ship. Jin looked at Lucas who was rushing in front of him on moonwalk, gave a cold snort and kicked it up. Bang bang bang. Lucas's long knife kept hitting Jin's feet, and the body of Lucas's knife was suddenly wrapped in armed color, and the long knife was slashed at the opponent from bottom to top. Kang. Jin directly drew the long knife from his waist. Jin was much taller than Lucas, and his knife was longer and bigger than Lucas's. The two continued to swing their knives quickly and fought in the air. The Marines who were guarding the gunners below had nothing to do with Jin. Regardless of whether it is Lucas or Jin, the speed of these two people is too fast. Jin is better. With fire burning on his body, he can always see a light flashing across an afterimage, and Lucas just it's too ridiculous, the speed is getting faster and faster, until you can't see clearly. Advertisement. Too fast this guy. Jin looked at Lucas in shock. He blocked with a horizontal knife, and Lucas directly violently knocked Jin into the air. Jin flew upside down for a long time to stabilize his figure, and stared at Lucas with the knife in both hands. Even if he has such a fast flying speed, it is still difficult to keep up with the opponent's speed when he perceives Lucas's actions. How did Katakuri fight Lucas in the first place? Jin had to think of this question. Because what he faced was simply a monster. In fact, at the beginning of the game between Lucas and Katakuri, both of them were a little unconfident about themselves. One was frightened by the opponent's top-notch ability to predict the future, and the other was frightened by the opponent's outrageous speed. The physical exhaustion of the two is exaggerated, but Lucas can't hold on any longer. Lucas's ability is indeed too pervert, and every time he improves, it is great, and I dare not make such a magical TV series. After these days of practice, Lucas is far stronger than before, both in physical skills and fruit gain. However, having not learned the internal destruction of armed S*X, seeing that S*X hasn't reached the level of Katakuri, Lucas still doesn't want to fight a strong person who is too top-notch. This is the three plagues. It's too broken. Lucas shook his head, speeding up again. The feet quickly and constantly stepped, and the whole person directly left a burst of air in the air and rushed directly in front of Jin. Too fast. Jin didn't have time to block, and tried his best to block. Boom. Jin's whole person turned into a shadow and quickly fell and hit the ground, and the whole ground was smashed into circles of cracks. Lucas rushed over in an instant and kicked up. Boom. Jin flew out again, directly over the shore, flying backwards across the sea at extreme speed, knocking a pirate ship out of a hole, and falling into the cabin before stopping. Lucas chased up at the same time and landed in the cabin, looking at the remaining bloodline on the ground and the empty cabin. Seeing, hearing and perceiving, Jin fled to the deck of the ship. He quickly followed, but one thing was true. The strength of the three plagues is indeed very stretched, just like the Wanokuni chapter of Oda Sai. Jack is just pure resistance to beating, with a lot of endurance and stamina, and when he encounters a repressive opponent, he is simply waiting to die. And Jin, except for the mysterious race veil, has not been unraveled, and now he has flicked it, only to realize that it is just like that. As for Quinn, I haven't played yet, but I will know soon. Advertisement. Lucas ran out, came to the deck, and saw two people surrounding him. Rubbing the corner of his mouth, Jin of Bloodline, and Quinn who came from the other side. No surprise, no surprise. A pirate in the distance looked at Lucas with a smile. I felt it a long time ago. Lucas waved his hand. He beats one big billboard, what about two big billboards? Kill him. Jin yelled, and rushed up directly with Quinn, besieging Lucas. Jin drew a knife and slashed, and Quinn's chubby body instantly swelled into a huge brachiosaurus form, directly rushing towards Lucas. Lucas instantly disappeared in place, appeared in front of Quinn, full of power increase, grabbed Jin's head and pressed it directly against the hull. Boom. The entire ship shook strongly in an instant. Quinn's head was stunned. Lucas grabbed the yellow braid on his head, and directly dragged Quinn's body into Jin. Put him down. Jin yelled. The knife that had been slashed at Lucas in his hand flipped, and his body moved backwards, reacting in time, and he didn't cut Quinn. I let him go, you will let me go. Lucas sneered, pressed Quinn again, and slammed into the hull once again. Rumble. The hull was shaking violently, and even the main and auxiliary masts were constantly shaking. Impossible. Jin yelled. Jack couldn't die in vain. Then why should I let him go? Lucas glared at Jin, holding Jin's braid in his hand, and bumped it down again. There was a violent shaking sound, the hull was already torn, and the ship was hit back and forth by Quinn's body, as if it was about to sink at any time. Bang bang bang. There was a gunshot, and the pirates on the boat surrounded Lucas and shot directly. A large number of bullets flew. Lucas's body was covered with armed color, and he blocked the bullets one by one, still holding Quinn's braid in his hand, and hit the main mast. Click. The main mast was instantly broken by Quinn's head, and Quinn was also hit hard enough. The ship couldn't hold on at all, and began to sink quickly. Hole. Jin rushed up with a knife. No matter what they do, Lucas will never let Quinn go. Chapter 193,191. Phase 6 Powers Siege. For subscription. For reward. For monthly pass. Advertisement. Lucas quickly lifted his right foot and stomped on Quinn's forehead fiercely. Under this foot, even if Quinn survives with Zone's strong vitality, defensive power, and resilience, he will encounter a crisis of checkmate. Because of this step, it is very likely that Quinn will become a reminder of the ship that is about to sink into the sea. Quinn's huge body would smash the entire ship and fall into the sea. Rao Shijin rushed quickly, but he didn't stop Lucas either. Boom. Lucas kicked Quinn, and Quinn screamed, his body quickly smashed into the hull and fell towards the sea. Quinn. Jin spread his wings and flew towards Quinn quickly, hoping to catch the opponent. The hull split into two halves instantly, sinking faster, and Lucas stood above the broken hull. He hadn't even set off to attack Jin. On a pirate ship in the distance, a figure quickly jumped up, and kept beating on the pirate ships in the middle, rushing towards him quickly. Barely a figure. This is a guy in the form of a dragon. Go to hell. Peggy kicked Lucas. You are Peggy Wan of the Flying Six Powers. Lucas recognized the opponent, grabbed the opponent's foot, and swept it out. Peggy Wan leaned quickly, avoiding the knife, but the sound of the chicken flying egg was heard, and when the sad listener was crying, Peggy Wan suffered a heavy kick in the crotch by Lucas. According to Lucas's strength, this guy, there will be no future in this life. There was a scream, Peggy Wan flew out, hung on the auxiliary mast, and continued to descend as the hull sank. I stabbed the Jurassic Park dinosaur den. Lucas looked at Beast's pirates silently, and a few more flying hexapods came. He quickly jumped onto a pirate ship in front of him and slashed at the female pirate in the form of a dragon on this ship. Runty stared at Lucas extremely angrily, and various cordial Zuan greetings continued to be heard in his mouth. Peggy Wan just now was in the form of Spinosaurus, and she was in the form of Pachycephalosaurus. The two are siblings. Although the elder sister often pretends to be weak and helpless in battle in order to pet her brother, her actual combat power is not weak at all. Moreover, it is very sturdy. Advertisement. Runty directly wrapped armament hockey with his head mallet, and hit Lucas directly. Where is the head hammer? It's the swollen head of the swollen head dragon. Runty's swollen head gun is as powerful as a large caliber artillery. It is a small case to break a person's skull. Kang. Lucas's knife collided with Runty's head, and a direct blow knocked Runty backwards, retreating to the edge of the ship's railings before stopping. Before Lucas continued to fight, another person rushed up. Sasaki, who was also a hexapod, turned into a triceratops shape and stood in front of Runty. Good guy. Lucas looked at these guys speechlessly. 2 plagues came, and 3 flying 6 cells came. There were 5 dinosaurs in total. He really stabbed the dinosaur nest. Don't be impulsive. Sasaki hurriedly stopped the angry Runty. If Runty's current eyes had power, it is estimated that he could kill Lucas thousands of times. After all, Lucas kicked her brother out of life, and their family was gone. Well, this is really a deep hatred. Runty's own personality is very irritable and willful, sometimes making troubles unreasonably, and speaking mercilessly to anyone. Even Kaido dared to scold an idiot, so he smashed it face to face. Kaido will tolerate her subordinates and her rudeness, but Lucas is the enemy. Runty who loses his mind will only die faster. Although Sasaki usually looks down on Peggy Wan, Junti is very angry, but now they are fighting against Lucas and they are still cooperating well. You die for me. Peggy Wan broke free from the mast, rushed over angrily, and punched Lucas. The following is gone, I can't bear it. At the same time, Sasaki and Junti moved together, and they rushed up to besiege Lucas. Peggy Wan, grinning in the form of Spinosaurus, Sasaki in the form of Triceratops, and Runty in the form of swollen heads, cursed and smashed Lucas with his head. Lucas kicked Peggy Wan's hand with one kick, then kicked the opponent with the other kick, his body landed, Runty's head mallet and Sasaki's attack fell. Kang. The long knife hit Runty's forehead, directly slamming the opponent back again and again, making a fist with the other hand and smashing Sasaki's head fiercely. Sasaki flew out directly, breaking the main and auxiliary masts with a bang, and the whole ship was suddenly pressed by multiple masts and tilted violently and began to sink. Runty didn't even look at Sasaki. He hugged his poor brother and jumped onto another boat. Sasaki had just stood firm, and felt a sharp pain in his body, and Lucas's long knife had penetrated his body. Advertisement. Sasaki didn't even scream, and fell straight down, spilling a lot of bloodline on his body, and a mass of minced meat all over the deck. Lucas just used the knife to shake it quickly, shattering the opponent's heart. The heart is the source of a person's body power and the source of a person's life. The heart will bring power to a person and provide vitality to life. Once it suffers major damage, or even direct destruction, no matter how strong the other party's resilience is, it will still be dead. Sasaki's body leaned sharply with the hull and fell into the sea. Lucas jumped onto the opposite ship and confronted the remaining Fei Lubao brother and sister on the opposite side. And that shipwreck capsized in an instant, and poor Sasaki, the corpse capital, was sinking into the deep sea under the pressure of the ship's hull. Lucas looked behind. At this time, Jin had already saved Quinn, and fortunately, Quinn had relieved his ability, otherwise Jin would have to be exhausted for his weight. Jin grabbed Quinn and flew quickly to the shore, only to find that Lucas was paying attention and quickly accelerated. Hold him, Run-T shouted. It's not that she is sane, but that she only dragged Lucas and allowed Jin and Quinn to break the defenses of this island, so that the pirates could swarm in, and Quinn's subordinates used a large number of plague bombs. It can make the marine on this island collapse. In this way, the defense completely collapsed and Lucas lost his backup, so they could besiege and kill each other as much as possible. Now Run-T wants to kill this guy all the time. Run-T used a dampening gun, and the head hammer was wrapped around the weapon and slammed into Lucas. Peggy Wan screamed while calling at Lucas. Worthy of being an ancient dinosaur, this will be tenacious, and will hold him back even if he suffers from severe pain in his lower body. The two hate Lucas so much, they are determined to keep each other behind. Bang bang. Lucas didn't bother to pay attention to the two people, kicked one by one, and the two fell into the sea. Spike. The whole person quickly stepped on the moonwalk and rushed towards Jin, intercepting the opponent. Your speed is too fast, Jin said helplessly, looking at Lucas who was in front of him. But how much stamina do you have? Jin threw Quinn directly at Lucas. After waking up, Quinn's body instantly swelled and turned into a brachiosaurus and slammed into Lucas. Yo. Chapter 194,192. Jin. Defeat. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. Quinn transformed into a huge brachiosaurus, drew a knife directly with his right hand, and slashed at Lucas. Oh, don't look at you getting fat, you can do kendo. Lucas said with a smile, and then rushed directly behind Quinn and kicked Quinn's forehead. Quinn quickly flew towards a pirate ship not far away. Lucas just looked at Jin. Should he deal with him or save Quinn? Jin gave Lucas the answer. Facing Quinn who was kicked by Lucas, he directly chose to hit Lucas. The people on the pirate ship in the distance watched in horror as Quinn's brachiosaurus body collided, and they wanted to jump off the ship. Such a big guy, their ships will be crushed. The inverted Quinn lifted his brachiosaurus form, and his fat body fell on the deck of the pirate ship. After rolling several times, he almost broke through the railing and fell into the sea. And not far from him, Run-T and Peggy Wan had just been picked up by the pirates. Fortunately, the two of them were relieved of their abilities, otherwise it would be very difficult to fish them. Wow, Run-T spit out the sea water. When she woke up, she couldn't care about the discomfort of her body. She quickly got up and crawled towards her younger brother. Looking at his younger brother nervously, Run-T saw that Peggy Wan was awakened by others, and finally couldn't help but hug his younger brother. Just now, the two were kicked into the sea by Lucas, and they almost died. Being in the deep icy water, the two of them could only faintly see each other's shadow. As capable people, they couldn't even reach out to each other. But this world is like this, they are pirates, and their luxurious life is based on the enslavement of countless ordinary people in Wano Kuni. So this war, even if both siblings are dead, they will end well. Shoot. Quinn's shout was heard in the distance, and the pirates raised their spears and aimed at Lucas in the sky. But, no, he was too fast, he couldn't aim at all. The pirates were holding guns in their hands and aiming at the air. They couldn't keep up with Lucas in terms of speed or reaction. How can it be repaired? Quinn squeezed his fist. Above the sky, an afterimage flew quickly, passing by the pirate ship, bringing a gust of wind. Whoosh. Suddenly, another figure rushed over quickly, but these pirates didn't see the other side's figure at all, and they couldn't even see an afterimage. Too fast. How could someone be so fast? Advertisement. Except for the fastest man in Pelusalino. The pirates sighed. Jin quickly shuttled between the pirate ships, circumventing the sails, while Lucas still followed behind. This guy. Kang. Lucas slashed, and Jin waved the knife in one hand. Jin was knocked out in an instant and hit a pirate ship. As soon as his body stood up, a blade of light flashed by, and his left wing was directly penetrated. Jin snorted, endured the pain, relieved his ability, and slashed at Lucas with his other hand. Jin's race is very mysterious. He usually has a pair of wings behind his back, and flames are still burning behind him. The other party's usual wings don't look like the power of fruit, and it's not a display. Jin can transform himself into a toothless pterosaur form, flying extremely fast, and sometimes he can maintain his usual state, with a pair of wings behind his back and a knife in both hands. So, if the person with the mysterious pair of wings was born there, why would he still eat the fruit? Lucas kicked Jin's belly, kicking it upside down and directly smashed the mast. Maybe he guessed wrong, usually the wings are just in the form of a dragon. Lucas didn't quite understand, but he didn't think about it, so he solved them first. The broken mast fell, with a bang, and the whole ship quickly tilted. Jin stabilized his figure, then rushed over quickly, slashing at Lucas. Chang chang. The two chopped several knives in succession. Sparks splashed. Jin kicked Lucas, but Lucas was faster, holding the knife and Jin's long knife in a stalemate, and the other hand directly grabbed Jin's foot, right kicked out his feet fiercely, and Jin quickly used his armed color to block. Jin looked incredulously at Lucas's knife and directly cut off his own knife, and then pierced his body with a single knife. Lucas's ability. It seems that there is also an ability to increase the intensity of the armed color. Jin suddenly remembered this trick. This guy has been useless since the beginning, and he almost forgot this piece of information until now. Jin had to resist. Lucas drew his sword extremely fast, and instantly came to Jin's back, and slashed Jin's neck with a knife from behind. Advertisement. A head flew up and fell to the ground, blood spraying a large area of red on the deck. Boom. Jin's headless body fell straight down, and the pirate ship on the opposite side heard a loud shout. Go to hell. Quinn was holding a gun in his hand with plague bombs in it, and he kept shooting at Lucas. The pirates also held guns and used plague bombs to shoot at Lucas. Lucas quickly dodged his body, and the plague bombs continued to be avoided by him. Lucas instantly disappeared in place, and rushed to the moonwalk quickly. The pirates were still looking for Lucas, he had already rushed over and attacked the pirate brother beside him. Puff puff. The blood spattered, one by one, the pirates fell on the deck, and the blood stained the entire deck of the ship. Quinn instantly transformed into a brachiosaurus, grabbed Lucas with his left robotic arm, and slashed with a knife with the other. Runty and Peggy Wanliang looked at each other. When Lord Quinn changed form, the whole ship shook violently. If the three of them changed form together, would the ship stand up? What are you doing in a daze? Quinn yelled, and Runty and Peggy Wan rushed forward to besiege Lucas. Quinn's mechanical left arm was against the knife in his right hand, pressing Lucas hard, the man opposite was too perverted. Even with his brachiosaurus form attacking with all his strength, the opponent's increase in power has become so great that he feels tremendous pressure. Quinn gritted his teeth and pressed Lucas vigorously, while Runty and Peggy would call on Lucas if he left or right. Runty human dragon form, the head entangled armament hockey, and directly hit Lucas's head. Peggy Wan suddenly came to the back, staring at Lucas's lower body grimly, and with a grin, he kicked Lucas's crotch with his foot. Siege. Ha ha ha. Lucas instantly withdrew his sword, disappearing, and appeared directly behind Peggy Wan. Be careful, Quinn and Runty exclaimed, but Lucas's speed is so fast that they have no time to rescue Peggy Wan. Puff puff. Lucas swung several knives at Peggy Wan's back, and several stabbings directly broke Peggy Wan's defenses and pierced too many holes in the opponent's organs. Peggy Wan screamed, and leapt forward. Chapter 195,193. The Ascended Quinn. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. Brother. Runty rushed up quickly, and suddenly, a bloody light was reflected in her sight. Peggy Wan's scream stopped abruptly, and a grunting head rolled down on the deck. With a bang, Peggy Wan's body fell to the deck, Runty's mental breakdown instantly, and he shouted angrily, and his mind went blank, just wanting to avenge his younger brother. Her head was wrapped in armed color, and she slammed against Lucas fiercely. Call out. Lucas slashed 4 special waves at Runty's limbs. The advanced use of armed color has external release, and these days, he has combined external release and slash to create a new slash. Be careful. Quinn ran up and swung his knife at Lucas, reminding Runty at the same time. There was only anger in Runty's mind, even if he heard the reminder, it was still a moment slower. Puff puff puff. Runty's limbs were directly penetrated by 4 special chopping waves, and she fell on the deck with her limbs broken, howling in pain. Boom. The knife in Quinn's hand cut through the air, and Lucas had long been lost on the deck in front of him. The long knife cut a long hole in the deck under the slash. Lucas appeared behind Quinn and slashed at Quinn's head. Boom. A bullet came, and Lucas leaned back, avoiding the bullet. In his sense of sight, hearing and color perception, on a pirate ship in the distance, a sniper quickly put away his gun and fled. This guy's reaction is so fast. Lucas vigilantly perceives everything around him to prevent anyone from attacking him again. Although his speed is very fast, the sniper just now was so strong that he almost hit him. It seems that there are strong people in One Piece world who have never appeared in the plot sometimes. The Shinso hand in that pirate is a typical example. Quinn and his men looked at his speed and strenuous aiming. Someone predicted where he would appear next, and they almost hit it. Lucas quickly recovered his figure. At this time, Quinn had turned around, and the mechanical arm grabbed Lucas's knife. Lucas dodges Quinn's mechanical arm, opened Quinn's knife with a single knife, and then slammed it into Quinn's body with a single knife. Advertisement. Quinn screamed and forced Lucas back with a stab. Lucas looked at Quinn, who had nothing to do with him, and he was indeed a reformer. Come here, coward, don't run so fast if you have the ability. Quinn kept yelling, knowing that he would end up like this, he and Jin should let Kaido come together. Now Jin is dead, 3 Fei Lubao have come, 2 have died, and 1 has been abolished. Even if he survived and returned to Wano Kuni with Runty, it would be impossible to kill Lucas again. Next time Kaido does come, then Lucas will either run away or call someone from Marine headquarters, commonly known as Xiao Ren. The opponent killed Jin and Fei Lubao, which was enough to get the attention of the world government and Marine. He was not surprised to call Garp Zephyr. After all, this is an unstoppable new star among Marine, and Marine can't let him die. Lucas rushed over instantly. Quinn grabbed Lucas with one hand and waved a knife with the other. While lying on the deck, Runty, whose limbs were broken, screamed while staring angrily at Lucas, shaking his head vigorously, trying to hit the opponent's head. It's a pity that I can only flop. Boom. Quinn's body was directly knocked into the air, breaking the mast, and the body of the Brachiosaurus crushed the cabin. The entire ship shook violently, and the dead Peggy Wan's body tilted to one side uncontrollably. Runty kept screaming and bit her brother's clothes with her mouth open. The mast pressed the hull and continuously increased the tilt speed of the hull. Runty was driven by Peggy Wan and slid down uncontrollably. With 2 puffs, the 2 fell into the sea. 1 person died and the other was abolished. There are no pirates willing to waste their energy to fish them. This is the end of being a pirate, cough cough. Quinn was kicked in the chest by Lucas, vomiting a little blood. Oh, I still have a bit of B-tree in my heart. Lucas slashed it down. Kang. Quinn swung his knife across the bar. Lucas stepped up his efforts and knocked Quinn's knife into the air. Shoo. Puff. One of Quinn's knives rotated a certain distance and stuck in the hull of a ship on the opposite side. Advertisement. Quinn's mechanical arm hurriedly slid in front of him, blocking the blade that Lucas had fallen. Go to hell. Quinn's neck suddenly grew longer, and he rushed towards Lucas, opening his mouth. Humph. Lucas snorted coldly, grabbed Quinn's braids, directly amplifying his power, and pulled Quinn's body, turning him in the form of a Brachiosaurus. The whole ship uttered an unbearable cry, and the hull trembled violently. As Lucas continued to accelerate, Quinn's tricks could no longer be used. With both hands capacity, Lucas screamed and threw Quinn into the sky. This huge body rushed into the sky in an instant, and it just so happened that a cannonball from the sky flew in the wind and hit Quinn's body with one blow. Boom. The sound of a violent explosion sounded in the sky, illuminated by the fire, and Quinn's screams had long been covered up. The body was blown off the track, and Quinn's scorched body quickly fell downward, and now the bottom was the sea. Lucas stepped on the moonwalk and quickly rushed into the sky, with a long knife in his hand slashing into the sky with waves of special chopping. The sound of the chopping wave tearing the flesh continuously came out, and as Lucas rushed up, he cut through Quinn's neck with a knife. He was still ascending. Quinn's head and body had been separated, Quinn's body was sprinkled with a lot of blood, and quickly fell toward the sea. When he returned to his normal shape, he hit the sea and set off large waves, blood mixed with the sea water, a blood flower flew up, and then returned to the sea. Quinn's body has already sunk into the deep sea. Lucas stepped on the moonwalk and landed on a pirate ship. He held a knife in both hands and placed the long knife at his waist. His body quickly rotated and shook suddenly. An expanding circular chopping wave spread to the entire pirate ship, directly cut the pirate standing on the deck in half. Boom. The main and auxiliary masts fell together, directly slamming the ship's violent tilt, and it would capsize at any time. Lucas glanced at the pirate ship with continuous cannons in the distance, and rushed over on moonwalk. Before the man fell, he directly waved a huge chopping wave and sank the ship. Not long after Lucas flew away, a mist shell happened to land on the sunken pirate ship. Those pirates who hadn't swum far were instantly swallowed by the explosion, leaving no place to bury their bodies. A gleam of light appeared at the junction of the sky and the sea in the distance, and the morning came. As the sun rose, the sea and the island were illuminated. Although it was early morning, the battle was still not over. The beast's pirates were wiped out, and some of the pirates who followed the trend and attacked them ran away after receiving news that Quinn and Jin had died. Part of it is still attacking frantically. Chapter 196,194. Sengoku. Congratulations, Sakazuki. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. Jin and Quinn are dead. On the other side, a pirate put down the phone bug in his hand and looked at the captain. As the defense of G5 torn apart, the captain of the pirate quickly looked at his men. No. The pirate shook his head quickly. They are just a group of pirate groups. There is no unity between the pirates and the pirates, even the attack on the G5 Marine branch. They all fight their own way, and what's more, the other pirate ships are sunk, and the pirates not far away will only laugh loudly. Such a loose group, and even some pirate groups within it, still have conflicts. After losing the beast's pirates Jin and Quinn, how do they fight? This group of waste equipment was crushed by Lucas's S troops again. After several hours, the defenses of one place were not broken, and he couldn't complain that Jin had been anxious to destroy the cannon on the shore. In the morning, Marine launched a counterattack on the island. Buggy bullets ran across the sky, hitting pirate ships, and the pirate ships were swallowed by the explosion. Pirate boats on the sea began to turn their bows and fled. After fighting all night, the pirates killed too many people, and the pirate boats broke through the waves, moved away from the island, and retreated. When they came, it was mighty, and when they fled, there were only more than 20 pirates in all directions. Pursue. As soon as the supporting Colonel Marine raised his knife and shouted, he was stopped by Lucas who had returned. Poor Mo Chase. Lucas looked at the colonel who was still trying to refute him, and glared at him. Everyone obeys orders, some people carry out coastal defense, and some people go to sea to salvage corpses, and they are brought up for disposal. Understand. Buggy who rushed over quickly took the order and organized people to patrol. And Akin took the Murloc Marine and other Marines, boarded a warship, and went to sea to salvage corpses. It is not a big problem for some pirates to fall into the sea at ordinary times, but now after a few hours of fighting, there are at least dozens of shipwrecks alone, and there are countless pirates who have died in the sea. Lucas didn't know much about medicine and biology, but he felt that so many corpses were immersed in the offshore waters of the island, and it was estimated that there was a plague. Although uncertain, he would not make fun of the lives of the people on the island. The beautiful country in the previous life is a typical example. The beautiful country does not do beautiful things, throws the super big troubles to the world, and throws the pot everywhere. And Asan is also very popular. We are the Huotian Mountain to save people, and Asan is the Huotian Mountain to burn people. Advertisement. By the way, there is still a small day. A good book player. Athletes who have problems with the water during the games directly throw up. I heard that some players dare to return to the arena after a few days of rest after recruiting. FK is crazy. The cardboard bed, the anti-squirt gun, etc. can't stop vomiting. Lucas himself would not learn those wise things. A warship came to the sea, and the Marines picked up the corpses floating on the water, and later they would gather them together and destroy them. Marine Headquarters Marineford. In Sengoku's office, Sakazuki sat aside, waiting for news. Pelusolino was sitting leisurely on the side. Sengoku looked at the blue ringing phone bug and picked up the microphone. This is Lucas, Rear Admiral. Sengoku listened to the voice from the other side in surprise, and hurriedly responded. After all, Lucas has proven to them his strength and great potential since he became Marine. Lucas's strength is improving faster and faster, and it is getting more and more shocking. Therefore, Sengoku people are paying more and more attention to him. Lucas went well against Beast's pirates this time, and Sengoku and others were also happy. Jin, Quinn, Sasaki, Junti, Peggywan and others in the Flying Six Powers were all killed by me, and Lucas reported the battle to Sengoku. He dealt with Jin and Quinn, and Monet was also temporarily ordered to deal with other people in the pirate ship. Facing Monet's snow fruit, 8 tricky pirate captains were killed by Monet, and Monet killed a total of 60 pirates. And Akin killed 7 pirate captains, and the remaining pirates killed a total of 20 people. Ain has the best record. As long as she comes to a pirate ship and the careless pirate is hit by her, she will fall back 12 years, and a pirate will disappear after a few palms. This ability to evaporate from the world is terrible. In the face of Ain's indefensible sneak attack, a total of 15 pirate captains were beaten by her to evaporate. Ain also killed a lot of ordinary pirates, a total of 40 people. This is a lot. After all, the one who is recording the biggest head is Monet, and Monet has the ability to attack in a range. Advertisement. And Binz killed 7 pirate captains, his ability to control plants, one control is a lot of pirates, most of the pirates controlled were robbed of the heads of the Akin team. Zachary the Murloc didn't remember how many people he killed, because he was diving, attacking, and sinking a pirate ship all the way, then hurriedly swam to the next sea area, and then continued to repeat. Diving all the way and sinking a ship, he used Murloc karate, controlled the ocean currents, and directly and roughly rushed the fallen pirates into the deep sea. The pirate was also suffocated by holding his breath. So Zachary didn't count much. The same goes for the Zachary team. And Glenn, the new marsh fruit capable person, he moved the cannon from time to time. He had a range advantage, and he sank many pirate ships by himself, but this guy was so crazy that he didn't even remember that he sank. How many pirate ships? Marine who ate the fruits of Jonchung couldn't tell how many guns he and his subordinates fired and how many pirate boats were sunk. After all, the Marine in his body is so messy, no one has the time to count. However, Lucas did not say much about his record except that he killed Quinn, Jin, and the 3 of the Flying Six Powers, mainly the record of his subordinates and the record of supporting Marine. Of course, even Lucas hadn't noticed that there were so many outstanding subordinates around him gradually. Although it's not top-notch, it's pretty good. The record of the subordinates this time is enough to be shocking from ear to ear. A group of elites topped a troop. Yes, you will return to Marineford in a few days, and the headquarters will promote you and hold an award meeting. Sengoku said with satisfaction, holding Lucas's information in his hand and the information of Lucas's subordinates on the table, smiling from ear to ear. Lucas's strength has long been proved enough, although his age is too young, this time his record is enough to make some people shut up. Sakazuki, congratulations, Lucas will have the same rank as you. Sengoku smiled at Sakazuki. Sakazuki laughed, and didn't care if his adopted son would catch up with his rank. Instead, I felt proud of Lucas in my heart. As for why he was dragged into Vice Admiral's rank, he couldn't possibly think of it. Chapter 197,195. Humanoid Pluton must be master in our hands X3. Advertisement. After going through this war, the 5 elders who received intelligence news became more determined to support Lucas. It is true that Kuzan and Pelusolino are too much, one acting as an ape, the other can sleep lazily by looking for a place. Now there is a better candidate, and of course they like to be obedient. Lucas must be the master in our hands. 5 elders, wearing a dark green suit and a double-handed mustache, said as he looked at the intelligence. Yeah, I agree. 5 elders, who was wearing a crimson suit and had a blonde hair and a golden beard, looked at the intelligence on the table and nodded. Wearing a black suit with white curly hair and a flat hat, 5 elders looked at the description on the intelligence and nodded in agreement. Intelligence Admiral Lucas's known intelligence was analyzed with this new intelligence, and he obtained intelligence that was as powerful as the humanoid Pluton. Moreover, in addition to this, Lucas's melee combat has also been greatly improved. The 5 elders directly settled the things they discussed before. Lucas just relied on his ability to be comparable to the humanoid Pluton, and the close combat was getting stronger and stronger. These all confirmed their idea of firmly holding the master each other. In the afternoon, East Blue. Somewhere on the island, a dragon boat docked on the shore, and Dorag was sitting on the boat, holding a copy of today's newspaper in his hand. Oh, it's him again. Dorag looked at the newspaper unexpectedly. This young marine, who has been able to show the limelight over the years, sometimes robbed the pirate supernova from the limelight. It is said that this man's abilities matched his buggy bombs, comparable to the humanoid Pluton. Ivankov said, standing behind Dorag. Yeah, Dorag nodded. Sometimes, he really wanted to meet this young man. As this young man gradually grows, the other party will one day have the power to shake the world. He would like to hear what the other person thinks about the world today. New World, G5 Marine Branch. It took some time to deal with the G5 branch. The next night, Lucas was sitting in the cafeteria, eating dinner. Tomorrow they will leave and return to the Marine Headquarters Marineford to participate in the award meeting. However, he did not receive an order to be transferred back to Marine Headquarters, and he has nothing to say about it. How love adjusts him how to adjust him, as long as he fights the pirates. Advertisement. After dinner and taking a break, Lucas continued to train at the training ground. Many of his subordinates have already gone back to sleep. In this war, in addition to some of his closest subordinates, many low-level Marines have also received a lot of credit, and some have been promoted to 1 or 2 levels. We all won, so please take a break anyway. Monet sat in the back and waved to Lucas. It's just that Jin and Kui are there are many better than them. Lucas shook his head and said. It's really Lucas, Rear Admiral. Even though I won this war, I won't relax because of a victory. Ain sat beside Monet and exclaimed. Akin waited for a few of Lucas's men to sit on the side, looking at Lucas. Lucas was under the greatest pressure in this war. After the battle, Lucas actually had no strength. They all saw this in their eyes, but he still worked so hard in the end. The subordinates looked at Lucas admiringly, really worthy of their Rear Admiral. That's. Lucas stopped the training in his hands and looked to the sky. A pirate ship flew in the air, flying towards them. Golden Lion. Buggy looked at the pirate ship in shock. Golden Lion's ability can make the objects he touched float. This person was very famous for the flying pirate group. Everyone nervously looked at the pirate ship floating towards them, one by one took up their weapons and stood by, while Buggy ran directly to shout. Jahahaha. Lucas, you killed Jin, Quinn, and 3 flying hexapods alone. The talent is really good. Golden Lion stood on his boat, looking down at Lucas and waiting. People. As the ship landed, Golden Lion and his deputy jumped down. Golden Lion came to Monet and pointed at her. Lucas, your ability is terrifying than Burndy World, be my subordinate, you are a born pirate. Quote. Lucas and others looked at Golden Lion speechlessly, including Golden Lion's deputy, who also looked at him speechlessly. Alzheimer's is okay, but not senile dementia like this, B******************. D. Ahem, this is just Lucas's subordinate, he is Lucas. Indigo quickly pointed at Lucas to help Golden Lion correct the mistake, and the trough didn't bother to vomit. Snapped. Advertisement. Lucas slapped Indigo's hand away and glared at Indigo. Indigo shut up. Well, neither the Golden Lion nor Lucas can provoke him. Indigo, the rat mouse, chooses to remain silent. Golden Lion, I won't be a pirate, you just die this heart. Lucas said as he made his subordinates retreat. The Golden Lion suddenly landed on their G5 Marine base, and G5's long-range attack was useless. Once the fight starts, his subordinates must stay away from here as soon as possible, so as not to support his hind legs. Moreover, he still doesn't know if he can beat Golden Lion. Young man, don't speak too absolute. You are still young. Marine is not as good as you think. Become a pirate with me. I am optimistic about your potential. I will train you to become the king of pirates and let you have this. The world. Golden Lion looked at Lucas and said with a smile. It's like saying, Xiao Luzi, Marine stubbornness is too deep, you can't hold it. Go be a bad guy with your master, eat and drink spicy. Wu Yu has no worries about having a spicy girl. Well, that's the general idea. Lucas couldn't help laughing. In fact, when he saw Golden Lion, because of the huge difference in strength, many of his Zuan greetings were held back, and the province angered Golden Lion. After all, as soon as Golden Lion was in a hurry, he directly threw down the floating sky island in the sky, and all their marines and all the residents on the island were in bad luck. But, Golden Lion's words are too funny. Marine does have many scum, but in general, the pirates have more scum. Because BIGMOM wants to eat a certain kind of food, his children may destroy a country and take away that kind of food directly. Although the ordinary people in Whitebeard's own territory are covered by him, he does not need to pay protection fees. But this guy accepts so many pirate sons, who can guarantee that one of his sons has never done anything harmful before admitting to his father. Even the idiot Luffy in the original book often helps ordinary people, but it's not that he has no crime at all. In order to save Ace, Luffy released too many pirates in the underwater prison. Overall, Marine still has more good people than pirates. However, in such troubled times, the situation on both sides is actually worse, using a vocabulary from the previous life. Young man, what are you laughing at? Chapter 198,196. Pirate Edition Planetary Devastation. For subscription. For reward. For monthly pass. Advertisement. The G5 Marine branch ended the intense battle. The Marines were going to sleep well for the night, but before they fell asleep, they received a bad news that couldn't be more bad. Golden Lion is here. Golden Lion Shiki was once a member of Rock's pirate. After Rock's was disbanded, Golden Lion formed his own flying pirate group, which was a longtime rival of Whitebeard and Roger. After Roger's death, Golden Lion single-handedly went to Marine's headquarters to kill him, and was uniformed by Garp Sengoku and thrown into the underwater prison. As for the reason for the madness, he couldn't believe that Roger, whom he considered his opponent, would be arrested anyway. And then, Golden Lion directly proved to the world what is the determination to escape from prison. This guy directly cut off his legs bound by the seastone shackles, and escaped impelled down directly with Sakura Tawamuku as a prosthesis. Impelled down, the first pirate to successfully escape from prison, the old rivals of One Piece and Whitebeard, members of Rock's pirate, captain of the flying pirate group, so many resounding names, the reputation of Golden Lion, even younger people have heard of. This guy's fierce name directly confuses the Marines, the Golden Lion is here. The Marines put on their clothes quickly and nervously, picked up the clothes and rushed out. Buggy hurried to Lucas's side with people. Although Golden Lion is very strong, Buggy saw one thing. The old man had a rudder inserted in his head and his legs were broken. It is estimated that his strength is not as good as before. Although Lucas may not be able to beat the Golden Lion, his speed can definitely hold the Golden Lion. Just now, Buggy has sent the news of the Golden Lion attack on the G5 branch back to Marineford, the headquarters of Marineford. Even this guy exaggerated. Lucas can't hold on anymore. Well, he couldn't hold on to either being caught alive or being killed. He believed that after seeing Lucas's strength and the terrifying power that can be combined with Buggy bombs, the Marine guys will surely come to support them quickly. Buggy couldn't help laughing. Although it looks dangerous now, they are actually a safe group now. Who is the fastest runner among Marine? That must be Pelusilino. Whoosh, a light from the sky flashes away, isn't it here? Buggy said that he believes in the light, and Pelusilino will definitely arrive soon. Advertisement. The Marines rushed over, but seeing the scene of the fighting on the training ground at this time, they did not dare to take one step forward. Above the sky, a mountain fell rapidly, and a huge shadow enveloped the entire training ground. The Golden Lion flew in the air, manipulating the mountain, and shot Lucas directly. Lucas's body disappeared in an instant, the mountain fell, and the entire training field was destroyed with a bang, while Lucas's figure appeared outside the training field, looking at the huge training field, and wiping the cold sweat on his head. How did Golden Lion fight Roger Whitebeard for so long in the first place? What a hooligan. If they couldn't beat them, they slapped a mountain and an island on the faces of the two men. If one is not enough, there will be two, and if two are not enough, then double. This style of play is simply too slippery. As long as you hide farther, you won't be able to win, but you will definitely not lose. Ahem, of course, this style of play is not actually called a gangster style. After all, Devil Fruit's ability is also a kind of human strength. Rumble. The mountain was separated from the training ground and quickly flew into the sky, exposing the badly photographed training ground below. Golden Lion floated a mountain from the extremely high sky on his floating sky island, and two huge mountains floated behind him. To be honest, Lucas was standing below, looking at the Golden Lion like this, suddenly feeling a little handsome inexplicably. Of course, ignoring the ugly face of Golden Lion is really powerful. A rudder was inserted into the head of the Golden Lion wearing a cloak. If he did not look carefully from below, he thought he was wearing a decoration. A pair of swords replaced the legs, and the Golden Lion's long golden hair fell straight down to the position of the sword. Two huge mountains floated symmetrically in the air behind this guy, with huge shadows covering the training ground and other areas. It feels like a blockbuster. Jahahaha, have you seen it? This is my strength. While I am still not angry, I quickly make a decision and surrender to me. Golden Lion looked down at Lucas and everyone else and laughed triumphantly. The old opponent of One Piece. Lucas increased at full speed, disappeared in an instant, and rushed to the Golden Lion extremely quickly. Lucas kicked it up against the rudder on the Golden Lion's forehead, and if he could hit the kick, he would be proud of it for a whole year. A sense of crisis appeared in the Golden Lion's heart, sweating all over, and his body quickly flew towards the distance. Advertisement. The two mountains close at hand slammed into Lucas in the middle instantly. Sure enough, it's not that easy to deal with. Lucas waved dozens of huge chopping waves at the two mountains, cutting the two mountains into several pieces, and leaving his body from the gap. He stared at the Golden Lion in the distance and knew that things were not that simple. As an old opponent of Roger and Whitebeard, Golden Lion is physically disabled and his strength has declined, but his experience and intuitive experience of the battle seem to have not fallen at all. As the top powerhouse on the ocean, it is normal to be able to react to his attacks. Moreover, Golden Lion's experience and color is definitely extremely powerful. Lucas looked at the Golden Lion and had to find a way to make the old guy angry and unable to calm down. He wanted to kick the other person in the back of the head. Boy, it seems I have to help you calm down. Golden Lion squeezed his fist. In his opinion, it is no big deal for Marine to become a pirate. In his opinion, Lucas's ability is too similar to that guy named Burndy Wald. This guy should be a pirate. Under the cultivation of his Golden Lion, is it not good to be the next One Piece? Why did this stupid boy refuse his kindness and honestly break Marine? Boom boom boom. Suddenly, a large number of mountains flew up in the sky, at least a dozen, and one after another surrounded Lucas and rushed towards him. The mountains were combined, leaving no room for Lucas to escape. Lucas had just cut a mountain, and the other mountain slammed him in the middle in the next moment. Oops. Sure enough, the theatrical version of things can only be seen as a joy, and it really fought. Although the strength of Golden Lion is greatly reduced, it is far from the original plot. Lucas turned on his defense in an instant, his body was covered with armed colors, but the whole person was trapped by the super-huge mountain. The earth and rocks of the mountain flowed quickly under the control of the Golden Lion, pushing Lucas to the edge, only showing a head outside. Lucas felt the bondage and sighed. Is this the pirate version of planetary devastation? Chapter 199,197. Buggy. Ah, it's so fast. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. Gia ha 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 ha. Kid, hurry up and reply to me. Is it a betrayer to become a pirate and be my subordinate, or to die now? Golden Lion stared at Lucas's head and smiled triumphantly. The Marines below pushed the cannon and fired at the Golden Lion. Golden Lion's body quickly drifted in the air to dodge, avoiding Marines' bullets and shells one by one. Above the sky, boulders descended rapidly, smashing towards the Marines with bursts of sound. Hurry up, Lucas yelled to everyone below. Inside the mountain, it was really hard to speak. But the battle between him and the Golden Lion is obviously not something these Marines can participate in. He has a way to get out of the shackles, but these people are still below, which is really a big burden for him. Jahahaha. Run, the Justice Marine flees in the face of the pirates. Golden Lion looked down at the Marine below and said mockingly. But, as a keyboard man in Lucas's previous life, Zuin's greetings are trivial. He usually punishes those guys who make mistakes and lazy, but also uses Zuin greetings to make those guys feel the punishment from the soul. As for the pediatric rubbish like Golden Lion, it can't affect his subordinates at all. Above the sky, a block of boulders fell, and Binz danced his body frantically on the ground, which felt like a ghost. Under his control, the big trees instantly turned on the crazy growth mode, turning into towering trees, skyrocketing toward the sky, withstanding the huge boulders. Go, you are just a drag on Rear Admiral here. Binz shouted through gritted teeth. The huge rocks in the sky became stronger and stronger, and the trees under his control kept screaming, as if they were about to break apart in the next moment. All go. A Jin yelled, shadows flying from a distance under his control. These are the shadows of his harvesting pirates. Under his control, the shadows are combined and turned into shadow spears to fly into the sky, and the shadow horn spears penetrate the boulders and the boulders once again, completely crushed. Huh. Golden Lion looked at those people in surprise. There are quite a few people in Marine. Binz and Akin resolved the crisis and quickly escaped with Marine. Their biggest task now is to flee here with Marine and the residents of the island. Because Golden Lion's lion fruit can raise this island, if Golden Lion gets angered, it is very likely that they will use the entire island to threaten them. At that time, it is really time for them to despair. Be my subordinates too. Become pirates. You can have money and beauties, and you can still have freedom. Golden Lion laughed wildly. Golden Lion looked at the people who ignored him and continued to retreat, and his face became gloomy. Is he Golden Lion old, or are the young people too disrespectful to the strong? Advertisement. You are still addicted. Rumble. Lucas entered the power augmentation mode, full of power, and instantly destroyed the landslide that trapped him. He rushed out on the moonwalk and slashed at the Golden Lion. The Golden Lion turned around instantly, and Sakura-ten and Muku on his legs slashed towards Lucas. There was a sound of fighting between Gold and Iron, and the two went backwards. Lucas stepped on the moonwalk and stared at the Golden Lion closely. Worthy of being an old top powerhouse, he can always react to his attacks. Kang. Boom. Golden Lion blocked Lucas's knife together, but Lucas rounded his left hand and slapped Golden Lion's head. The speed was very fast and the strength was great. Golden Lion did not hide this time. In the night sky, a scream of "ah" came, and Golden Lion's body quickly flew towards the distance, a stream of blood spattered. Just as Golden Lion was about to resist, Lucas took advantage of this guy's lack of adjustment to float, and rushed over and slashed. Golden Lion hurriedly raised his foot to block with two swords. The double swords hurriedly blocked Lucas's knife, but Lucas came immediately behind Golden Lion and slapped the back of Golden Lion's head with a slap. Boom. Below, a gunshot sounded. At a critical moment, Golden Lion's deputy, Yindigo, saved his life. Lucas quickly hid his upper body, changed palms to feet, and kicked the Golden Lion's crotch. What? A painful scream sounded across the island, breaking the tranquil night. Golden Lion was stunned, and finally realized what it meant to be unhappy, and what it meant to be painful to the soul. He stared at Lucas angrily, determined in his heart that he must kill Lucas and crush the hope in this Marine. The Golden Lion's body flew towards the sky at a very fast speed, getting faster and faster, and above the sky, huge shadows shrouded one by one, and the mountains were transported by him. Advertisement. Even if Golden Lion uses more mountains today, he will still shoot Lucas this B*********** D to death. Indigo shuddered when he looked at the Golden Lion above the sky and the mountain that completely covered the sky. He hurried to board the boat, and under the control of Golden Lion, the boat moved away from the island. The furious Golden Lion controlled dozens of mountains and shot Lucas with all his strength. Looks like not easy to deal with. Lucas swallowed. It is true that Golden Lion is not online, and seeing and hearing color is indeed offline, but can he really touch Golden Lion now? Lucas watched as the mountains that had completely enclosed him hit him, gritting his teeth and using all his strength. Armed color amplification, the most physically demanding ability, is opened, and the increase is full. Directly using the combination of slashing and armed external release, slashed huge waves of slashing at the mountains in front of him. Boom boom boom. The three mountains were split in an instant. Lucas rushed all the way, chopped all the way. Golden Lion kept beating Lucas with mountains. He wanted to see if he had more mountains, or if Lucas cut fast enough to get him in front of him. Dozens of mountains. No matter how hard Lucas hacked, they have always been under siege. Golden Lion snorted coldly. Even if all these mountains were smashed, he still had several floating sky islands. Just take a picture of this young man who doesn't know the heights of the sky and will be blinded. In the small town, Monet looked at the horrible scene in the sky, and quickly turned around to greet everyone and quickly leave the island by warship. After the previous battle between Lucas and Katakuri, Lucas asked them to leave when they should. His subordinates now understand their help, and sometimes they can't help. After all, in the current battle between Lucas and Golden Lion, they can only help. It's not that he underestimated these people, such as the strong fruit ability person, who had a large number of cannons concentrated in his body, and the buggy shells he shot could blow up a large number of mountains. But the opponent's physical skills are not good at all. If you face the Golden Lion, you will be killed soon. At that time, he will lose another subordinate of potential stocks. Chapter 200,198. My trash talk is low, so bear with me, subscribe. Ask a reward. Ask a monthly pass. Advertisement. Lucas kept stepping on the moonwalk, swiftly waving his arms and dancing the blade, slashing huge chopping waves, cutting away the mountains that the Golden Lion controlled flying. The Golden Lion is located high above the sky, very far from the encircling circle of the mountains. Now he has suppressed his anger, regained his sanity, and is always paying attention to Lucas's position under the perception of seeing, hearing and color. As long as Lucas rushed out, he would control other mountains again to block Lucas's way out. He wanted to see if he was more capable, or if Lucas had enough energy to consume him. I've heard of Lucas's abilities before, and he was almost attacked by Lucas several times just now, which made him have a clearer understanding of Lucas's abilities. With absolute strength, as long as he has enough for an object control, he can be invincible. Rumble. 10 minutes later, above the sky, a loud bang spread across the island. Lucas finally spelled it out, and a slashing wave slashed away the mountain that was blocked by the outermost layer. The Golden Lion instantly flew backwards towards the distance, giving Lucas no chance to get close to him at all. Lucas perceives the situation on the island by seeing, hearing and coloring. Under the leadership of Marine, the residents of the island have boarded a warship or a fishing boat and left the island. Huh, Lucas breathed a sigh of relief. Very good, they all ran away, then he can irritate Golden Lion as much as he wants. If he can irritate Golden Lion again and make him lose his composure, then he can try to slap Golden Lion on the rudder behind his head. Moreover, people were successfully evacuated, he could not fight, and he could run. Looking at Lucas from being surrounded by himself, Golden Lion quickly controlled a dozen mountains and shot Lucas directly. Lucas's body accelerated instantly, and when he had been prepared, he quickly dodged into the distance. The dozen or so mountains of the Golden Lion covered a large area, but Lucas ran in time and escaped. Lucas didn't stop, and rushed directly in the direction of Golden Lion. The Golden Lion, who had been prepared for a long time, directly adjusted the seawater floating in the sky over Sky Island. Under the control of Golden Lion, a huge wave rushed from the sky to Lucas below. Advertisement. Boom. The huge waves slapped the ground fiercely, and the waves directly washed down the big trees, like a small flood descending to the world. The sea continued to rush, flushing away the animals in the forest directly and mercilessly. Kwai. Lucas stepped on the moonwalk and appeared in the distance, looking at the sea water controlled by the Golden Lion. The capable people are disgusted by the sea because of the sea stone factor in the sea. A person with the ability will fall into the sea, and the body will be unable to move. Because there are sea stone factors everywhere in the sea, it can be described in a sentence. Stop those who are capable, the sea is full of sea stone factors. However, the ability of the capable person cannot move in the seawater, but it does not mean that the ability of the capable person is invalid to the seawater. Kuzan's ability can freeze seawater, and Charlotte Irwin's ability can affect seawater, heating the seawater to form a number of current hot water pillars to attack opponents, using Atami Wanlai. The Golden Lion can also control the sea, allowing the sea to attack the capable. This is how Luffy was dealt with in the original book. Once the water mountain formed by the Golden Lion's sea water hits the package, it will be extremely painful for the capable person. In most cases, it will be a mortal result, except for the protagonist Halo. Lucas stepped on the moonwalk, speeding faster and faster, facing the mountains and the water that the Golden Lion controlled to fall, and kept focusing on avoiding it. Golden Lion, are you presbyopic? I am here. Lucas's voice appeared in the distant sky. Golden Lion frowned and stared at Lucas. With his hands waving, the mountains quickly slammed past, and the sea rushed towards Lucas from top to bottom. Lucas quickly dodged and appeared in the distant sky. As long as he has the intention of approaching, Golden Lion will fly frantically into the sky and will not give Lucas a chance to approach him at all. In the face of the Golden Lion's attack, Lucas also evaded in time. As long as the Golden Lion mobilized the mountains and water, he would evade in advance. Both of them are very careful, you can't hit me, and I can't hit you. And Lucas was okay at the beginning, just talking some ordinary trash. Advertisement. But gradually, Lucas came up with the battle between Golden Lion and Roger, Golden Lion and Whitebeard, Golden Lion and Garp, and even the battle between Golden Lion and some famous people. You haven't played Garp. You haven't played Roger, you and Burndy World are both unresolved. In Lucas's mouth, you can't even beat Burndy World. You can't beat Zephyr, you can't beat Sengoku, you can't beat. After some small processing, Lucas turned into trash talking and mocked Golden Lion. What? Unify the world. You can't beat so many people, you unify NM. Shit, you are afraid of presbyopia. I'm so slow, you can't hit it, and you also invited a Marine to be a pirate. What do you say to avenge Marine? What are you dreaming about? Don't pee and look in the mirror. Take a look at yourself. Although Lucas felt that all these words he was talking about were low trash talk, even in his previous life, even the trash talk was unworthy. But Golden Lion used to be a member of Rock's Pirate. He was aloof. Later, he was the captain of the Flying Pirates. Although the identity of the pirate is not very good, I have to say that they are also among the pirates who want money and a lot of women. That's pretty. Even if the opponents are met, they are all people who just say a few words to fight, or they are characters like Roger. When have you been scolded like this? Golden Lion had never heard of this kind of trash talk before, so he couldn't stand it. After all, those who dare to scold him are dead, and the people like Whitebeard are too lazy to delve into scolding. Go to hell. Golden Lion yelled. Dozens of mountains in the sky smashed against Lucas frantically. Lucas kept avoiding prepared. Lucas has a clear understanding of the Golden Lion's ability, and has been carefully avoiding. The Golden Lion couldn't hit him at all. The mountains hit the island fiercely. Just after experiencing a sea wash, the island was constantly shaken by the impact of a falling mountain. Lucas kept getting close to the Golden Lion, and the Golden Lion lost his calm, seeing and hearing the color temporarily failed, and he could no longer perceive Lucas. Boom. Golden Lion noticed the problem, and quickly manipulated the mountains around him into an encirclement, shrouded himself in it, and blocked Lucas's chopping wave. It's just some rubbish. Golden Lion regained his calm again after a while, facing Lucas's attack with a sneer. Chapter 201,199. Earth-shattering battle. For subscription. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. The dozens of mountains of Golden Lion all gathered around him, forming an encirclement, directly enclosing itself for protection. Lucas brandished a long knife, and wave after wave slashed at the Golden Lion's mountain. A chopping wave tore a mountain, and then the next chopping wave struck again, tearing the next mountain. The Golden Lion controlled a huge sea of water and directly collided against Lucas. Lucas stepped on the moonwalk, his body quickly moved backwards quickly. After Lucas was forced to retreat, the Golden Lion rushed out of the encirclement again and flew towards the sky. Lucas originally wanted to chase. The Golden Lion controlled the mountains and a large amount of seawater, and once again launched a siege on Lucas. One runs too fast, and the other person has to keep a long enough distance. One relying on ability, vigorously used the mountains and water to attack the other side, making the other side can only use the speed to dodge quickly between these behemoths. The two have actually fallen into a stalemate, and no one can help each other. In the distant night sky, a little light appeared, and suddenly, the light disappeared again. Pelusolino stopped very far away, feeling the situation of Lucas and Golden Lion, quite surprised. This kid actually forced the Golden Lion to be unable to do anything to him. Pelusolino just stopped in the distant night sky, perceiving the battle between the two from a distance. Until Lucas's speed suddenly dropped, Pelusolino instantly turned into a ray of light and rushed over. A flash of light flickered and shot directly on the mountain facing Lucas. Rumble. The sound of the violent explosion spread across the sky, even the civilians on the naval warships could hear it. The mountains flew quickly, and a huge ocean current rushed in. Pelusolino grabbed Lucas's body and quickly retreated backwards, aiming his left palm at the mountains and the sea water, continuously shooting laser beams. Boom boom boom. The mountains were disintegrated by the laser, and the sea water was scattered by the laser. Golden Lion looked at the emergence of Pelusolino, gave a cold snort, and flew to the high altitude quickly, leaving the G5 Marine branch. Advertisement. Lucas breathed a sigh of relief, although he did not kick the Golden Lion in the forehead and did not kill the Golden Lion. But anyhow, the island was saved. You come a little later, Golden Lion will probably ruin the island in anger. Lucas said with a smile. Then you still have the courage to scold Golden Lion. Pelusolino said helplessly, young man, you are very brave. The most surprising thing when he watched the game just now was not that Lucas's strength had improved so much, but that Lucas had the courage to scold Golden Lion. He wants me to be a pirate, he is bewitching me, how could I be depraved, so I just curse a little. Lucas said with a smile. In fact, what I said in my heart is, MMP, you have enough to play the ape, so he didn't find it while watching the drama for a long time. In a battle with Golden Lion, Lucas has little strength now. The older generation of strong men does have something. Golden Lion's combat experience and the speed of response to danger are not comparable to the three calamities. Moreover, this old guy's abilities were too pervert. After suffering a loss, Golden Lion stayed far away all the way and tried hard to attack with mountains. Others fight with knives and sticks, and Golden Lion fights directly shoot the mountains and the sea. The scale is not the same at all. If Lucas is compared to a fighter jet, then Golden Lion's attack method is simply the destruction of natural disasters, and his speed is all constrained by avoiding the mountains. Pelusolino fell on the roof of a room and put down Lucas, who was exhausted. Your ability is very strong, and you train physical skills very hard, but you are still too young. Pelusolino looked at Lucas and said seriously. Well, it is true. Lucas nodded. However, this is the reason why you returned to play the ape mode and let go of Golden Lion after you rescued me. Well, he never expected that the actor would do his best. Notifying his subordinates, Monet and others led the people in the town back. What are you going to do next? Pelusolino asked, looking at Lucas. Golden Lion is a lunatic. Back then, he was able to, single-handedly, enter Marineford and escape from the underwater prison by breaking his legs. I think he returned to the eyes of the world this time and he was probably brewing more crazy things. Yes, he is a lunatic, he can do anything. Pelusolino nodded in agreement. Lucas watched his subordinates return to the island, helping the residents deal with things, and fell into thinking. Advertisement. Previously, I planned to return to Marine Headquarters, Marineford, to participate in the awards. But at this time, he is very afraid that Golden Lion will attack the G5 base after he leaves. He had been trying to irritate the Golden Lion just now, just to make the opponent lose his composure and unable to use his sights, hearings and colors, so he had a chance to kill the opponent. It's a pity that he is too young, and his physical strength is not enough to support high-altitude high-intensity combat for too long, and his physical strength is not strong enough to kill the Golden Lion. And just now, he discovered Pelusolino watching the game. When watching dramas in his previous life, he only thought that Otasai was often just for the atmosphere, funny, and he also thought it was quite fun. But now that Pelusolino faced this kind of thing, he even released the water and allowed Golden Lion to leave. No matter how the other party considers, this has strengthened his determination. Marine's mess of justice really needs to be corrected, but it all needs his strength to be able to display it. If Golden Lion launches an attack on G5, too many people will die. Lucas looked at Pelusolino. I won't go back, I will continue to garrison the G5 Marine branch. Pelusolino agreed with what Lucas said. Golden Lion can control several islands floating in the sky, and drop an island randomly, which is a devastating blow to the Marine and residents of the G5 branch. But, brat, haven't you realized how high you stand in some people's hearts? A humanoid war machine comparable to Pluton, 5 elders can't wait to support him. How can he be killed in battle? The distance is farther, as long as the scholars of the Marine Science Corps produce weapons stronger than buggy bombs, then Lucas is a nuclear deterrent. Don't worry, G5 will be fine. Pelusolino persuaded. Although he is lazy, even though he plays an ape, Pelusolino sees many things very clearly. Since Lucas showed that ability, many senior executives have taken a fancy to him. In the afternoon of the second day, Marine Headquarters Marineford residential area. Sanji excitedly took a newspaper and ran home, shouting to his friends. Chapter 200 2200. Golden Lion. The brain hurts. Much cute. My heart hurts. Please subscribe. Ask for monthly pass. Advertisement. Big Brother Lucas actually defeated the 3 plagues of the Kaido pirates. Big Brother Lucas is amazing. The kid sitting in the corner of the yard, looking at the newspaper in Sanji's hand, exclaimed. When will Big Brother come back? I miss him so much. Luffy drooled, and all he was thinking about was Lucas taking them out of the restaurant. Thinking about people is fake, thinking about meat is real. And this. Sanji took out another newspaper and put it in front of a few people. The little ghosts sitting around grabbed the newspaper one after another, all wanting to see the content first. Sanji grabbed the newspaper back and read it directly to everyone. A reporter recorded the terrible battle between Lucas and Golden Lion. It's just that this reporter is different from the rubbish before. He analyzed it rationally and pointed out that Lucas didn't have much physical strength until the end. He believes that Lucas is too young. As long as he is given a few more years to grow up, he will definitely become stronger. Although the rational reporter analyzed a lot of things, these little ghosts. Oh, Lucas beat Golden Lion away. He killed the 3 plagues and made great contributions, and he will be back soon. One by one shouted excitedly. Quote. Kid looked at the cheering people speechlessly, helpless to help. Are they idiots? Although the eldest brother won, it does not mean that it is a good thing. The eldest brother killed the 3 plagues and repelled the Golden Lion with the help of Vice Admiral in Pelusolino. But the age of the eldest brother is still too young for the top powerhouses. Next, Big Brother Lucas faces the danger of double hostility from Kaido and Golden Lion. Kid was full of worries about Big Brother Lucas. Don't worry too much. Sanji smiled and patted Kid on the shoulder. Why? Big Brother has shown his talent and potential, and his value is enough to attract high-level attention and be protected. Sanji analyzed. I'm going to New World. Then you must be obedient at home, understand? Sakazuki put on a marine uniform and a cloak, and walked out of the house to look at the little ghosts. Okay. Sakazuki looked at the excited little ghosts. You guys, do you really understand? You are going to pick up Brother Lucas. Hira said excitedly. Advertisement. I don't care about adults, kids. Sakazuki glared at the kids and walked straight out of the yard. Sanji has no choice but to help. These idiots, how can Brother Lucas come back soon at this time? New World, somewhere in the sky. After the islands were floating in the clouds, Golden Lion had already returned here, and his temper was not very good at this time. Sitting on the main seat, he was depressed drinking and eating food. And the pirates who were sitting in the room, eating and drinking with him, all bowed their heads and did not dare to make a sound. Why don't you eat or drink? Do you look down on me? Golden Lion snapped the table sharply and shouted angrily. He is old and can't even catch a young man. While this made himself doubt about himself, his temper became more and more irritable. Looking at the group of pirates they recruited, these guys went to deal with Marine, and they suffered heavy casualties. It irritated Golden Lion even more. It didn't mean that. The pirates quickly denied in a panic, and quickly picked up the chopsticks and picked up the food. However, when an individual is around Golden Lion, he can eat as quietly as possible, and minimize any sound. One by one tremblingly ate. Golden Lion looked even more angry. You, tell me why you didn't defeat those Marines. Golden Lion asked, looking at the fifth black-faced pirate on the left. We are too weak to beat those people at all. As soon as this buddy finished saying these words, the faces of the pirates here changed drastically. Although the words are facts, when Golden Lion is angry, speaking out so directly is not dead. Golden Lion's face was getting colder and colder, and he rushed directly up, pinched the guy, threw it out of the house, suddenly lifted his left leg, a chopping wave flew out, and directly killed the guy outside. You, tell me the reason. Golden Lion asked, pointing to the first man on the right. The man had just shot a wave of Golden Lion's horses. The man was thrown out, and his body was cut in half with a chopping wave. Golden Lion asked someone again, scared the third person to praise Golden Lion while giving pertinent suggestions. Golden Lion sat down, took a sip of wine, and accepted the suggestion. The third pirate who was asked finally breathed a sigh of relief, got permission, and then sat down. Advertisement. Golden Lion took the wine poured by Indigo and drank it in one sip. Then he looked at all the pirates present and said his thoughts. I will now summon the powerful pirates in the world, and they will all come to my ship. I want to retaliate against Marine again. And you, Golden Lion's face was chilled. Give me all to summon the subordinates, forgive your fault for the time being. Yes, thank you for not killing. The pirates looked at Golden Lion in fear. Golden Lion walked out of the house, these talents were relieved. Over the past few years, they finally saw what kind of person a Golden Lion was. Originally, they were only attracted by the reputation of Golden Lion, hoping to follow each other out of the world, but the reality was cruel. Golden Lion is cruel to outsiders and to his subordinates. In the last moment, I talked and laughed, and in the next moment, I was killed by Golden Lion on the spot because someone said something wrong. Some people have done things for Golden Lion for a long time, but Golden Lion will still kill that person directly because the other party said something wrong. These pirates, for Golden Lion, have been disappointed. However, Golden Lion is very strong and famous, and there are always countless pirates willing to play for him. Wanokuni, the island of ghosts. Kaido held the wine gourd in his hand, poured the wine vigorously, put down the wine gourd, and looked at the subordinates coming towards him. Jin and Quinn are dead. The pirate put the newspaper in Kaido's hand and stood aside honestly. Kaido issued the certificate for a moment, looking at the contents of the newspaper, looking at the bodies of Jin and Quinn in the photo. Kaido burst into tears suddenly. Kaido was very tall, and the tears fell directly on the face of the pirate nearby, just like it was raining. Gudong gudong. Kaido poured his drink vigorously and drank it vigorously, which was worse than the occasional cry of sadness and craziness. Kaido threw the wine gourd in his hand to the ground, splashing the wine, splashing the face of the hapless pirate. Kaido cried again, crying while looking painfully at the bodies of Jin and Quinn in the photo in the newspaper. The three plagues were all dead, and he was too sad. My poor Jin, my poor Quinn, blame you for being too weak, ooh.